Hello everyone, how's it going? And welcome back to the Kill Connor Club podcast. I am one of your hosts, James, and I'm joined, as always, by Tyler.
As always, how's it going, my friend?
It's going good, man. It's going pretty good.
That's the way. Dude, you sound like that was the most mundane intro you've ever done. That was like, honestly, like
Was
I know,
it?
like when you do intros, I like to judge your intros after you do it. It's become kind of a thing I do.
Yeah.
But that was like just so slow.
Well, I think the thing is, right,
we're here now and we're gonna have a good time.
I've been trying to
we?
pull it back because I've said how I don't like the other intros where I'm like doing the old, oh, hello everyone, bloody welcome back and all that.
Don't then do the exact same intro in words, but just do it less enthusiastically. That's not
Yeah,
really
but I'm
what
trying to
changing the
just
intro is.
sound, you know, look, it'll get there one day. Just give me a few episodes, and then I think we'll be in it. Or you know what? Well, once it's done, I'll practice in front of a mirror and see if I can get one. But yeah, it's episode 77. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Sorry this was late. We had some technical difficulties happening there, but there you go.
I was inside Requiem, and you couldn't hear James. He was outside, you know.
Yeah, man. It was bad.
Yeah. Inside reference that I think you get. Let us know as well, everybody listening live right now on the YouTubes, and I don't know what am I talking about. And let us know how the audio is and everything, and as well like the stream as we're going as well, just to kick us off.
Yeah, dude, that'd be great.
Ladies and gentlemen, as James said, this is the Kill Connor Club podcast, episode 77, and it's powered by the great people over at patreon.com/as always. So if you want to listen to more awesome podcasts, there is an exclusive on patreon.com/as always. Every week, the Kill Connor Club podcast isn't on. That's Kill Connor Clubhouse, the people's podcast, powered by the people. All the topics we talk about are your topics. All right. So to thank a few of those sweet vintage lads that are helping power this podcast over at patreon.com/as always. We have King Richard III, Ballsack47, Tman or Travis, Billy, the Team Tynamite Captain Robertson, Josh Devillier, Damian, Get to the Chopra, Mario5380, Lumistrad, Josh Jordan, Ben or Modorox, TheHumbleWorm, Elstico91, Emil Katborg, Austin, Sjors, GdayItslaZer, Prudhvi Muvva, Rav, Julli, Adam Sundling, HParts12, SaggyTits, Jayce, Medici, TheACMJS, James and Lad, Yazen, Joe the Sexy Boi Smith, Brian Ford, Connor Durose, GingerNutJared, Big Up Long-Eared Fox, George Welford and Fox, Joshua Mora, Gene, Marcus Blackburn, Seth, Oscar, Rav Jai, Son of a Bitch, OG Doggo, Brendan or BQ Overlord, and Pink Flame 313. Thank you, sweet vintage lads, for helping power this podcast. All right, let's get the fuck into it.
Nice.
Let's get into it. It's been a minute. Now, James, I'm going to bring this up now. It's on the list of things that I've made, but just because someone mentioned the comments. And speaking of one of the sweet vintage lads I just read off, Billy, the Team Tynamite Captain, he, myself, and my brother Harlan yesterday saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ah, right.
And it was pretty good. It was actually very good. It was actually very good.
Okay.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, Marvel's new movie that's out. Have you seen it, James?
Unfortunately, I can't do that, even if I wanted to, because of whatever reason, they've fucking gone and delayed it, haven't they, in the UK? Actually, they've staggered the release all across the world. Like, Japan doesn't get it till the end of August. I don't really know why, but yeah, that's a shame. So I can't watch it. But is there anything, you know, that is going to be like, if it gets spoiled, it'll be like, oh no, that's really bad?
Yes. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah. It's
like gonna be tough.
like the overall as a movie, no, but like the ending, yes. Like there's clearly a link. This movie has a link to Infinity War and also the next Avengers movie.
Why would they do this to me? How is this fair?
Yeah, the movie on its own, in itself, is its own movie, and it's not like relevant. You know what I mean? Like it's Ant-Man and the Wasp is about Ant-Man and the Wasp, and it has its storyline that from start to finish of the movie's about with a villain in it and things like that, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
But at the end, there is a link, and there's things that it sets up and introduces that at the end kind of get teased to the next Avengers movie and also linked to Infinity War. So yeah, there is relevance to this.
Now I gotta wait
and
until.
it's very good.
Got like a whole
I was very
month.
happy. It's got like I'll give you a spoiler. Can I give you a spoiler-free review of it? Like
yeah.
I won't.
Yeah, you can.
I won't even give you. I won't even go over like what the story is of it.
Okay.
I'll just say this: like overall, I liked it. I actually, because I've got my MCU movie ranked list, I put it in the middle.
Okay.
And I put it just above Ant-Man, the first one. I think it's better than the first one. Just because you've got kind of everyone's established. Like, it's pretty close. Like, honestly, I'd probably, if I gave them, like, a numbered rating, they'd both be identical sort of thing. Like, if you liked Ant-Man, the first one, this, to me, is as good. If not, maybe the tiniest bit I'd put ahead. Evangeline Lilly, who plays the Wasp, is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Douglas, who plays Hank, is that his name? Hank
Pym, yeah.
Pym, yeah. The three of them are great, again, as they were in the first Ant-Man. Paul Rudd's great. And there's a couple of new characters. One being there's a police officer. There's like a main police officer because Paul Rudd's character is under what's his fucking name? Oh my god,
like,
Ant-Man.
I don't remember.
Oh my god, I can't believe I don't know. I can't believe I'm blank.
Scott Lang.
Oh yeah, Scott Lang. So Scott's like under house arrest. That's like the start. Like the movie, the start of the movie. He's under house arrest from Civil War because he got let off. He got like a couple years of house arrest for like breaking the Sokovia Accords. Like that's what it's about. And there's a comedy element. There's a character like the police officer that's the main head detective that looks after him. That if anything goes wrong, he comes up and checks on him, sort of thing. He is great. He's hilarious, and he's only like a side character that's barely in it, but he's so much funny. Old mate Mexican dude that his best friends with is in it again. He's awesome. The things I didn't like was like the villain was really, I thought, underdeveloped and kind of there's no big payoff to it. It was kind of just like their storyline was kind of pointless. It was a very like most Marvel movie, like it's a very similar to most Marvel movies. The villain was very left a lot to be desired. Yeah. But the storyline itself was interesting. The way it was all, done was really good, and I liked all the chemistry between all of like the main actors and Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like it really was. I feel like it was a shared movie. I was worried that I'm like, is it really Ant-Man and the Wasp, or is it Ant-Man and we need to have female lead? No, like it really was about the two of them, and the storyline is more about the Wasp, but they both share the same screen time, I'd say. But like it's just kind of that's what the storyline is about, her and Hank, as much as it is about Scott. But yeah, it was really good. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun. It took me a little bit to get into it, but it was really good, and it links to Infinity War and then the next Avengers. I feel like it hints things for, and I'm excited about it, and I liked how they handled it.
Oh god,
so
I wish I could watch it.
You don't need to stay for the post credit scene. The mid credit scene's great. The last one is literally 0 point. The worst one they've ever done. No point at all. But the first one's great. First one's one of the best ones.
Okay. All right.
Anyway,
well,
that's Wasp. If you haven't seen it, go and see it unless you're in the UK. But bonus, James, though, to be fair, the UK have a lot to be smiling about right about now.
That's true.
And I'm talking about it is, in fact, coming home.
It is. That's true. That's very true.
How are you feeling at the moment after, I'll say last night's game? England versus Sweden in the quarterfinals of the FIFA World Cup. Yeah. How are you feeling? It was at midnight last night for me, and I stayed up, went to a mate's house that I've been watching most of the games at. Great game.
Yeah, it was.
If you're an English fan.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it was really good.
Especially after the Colombia game.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a bit of a heart attack for England. It was very, could have gone horribly wrong. But this was like 90-minute display of dominance by England.
It was. God, yeah, it was a bloody good time.
Where were you watching it? Were you just at home?
Yeah, home. My grandparents came around and all my family watched it. And then we had a barbecue afterwards. So it was a good time.
Everyone
Match
feeling
was
good.
so.
Now we're at the semi-finals of the World Cup. It is
Fucking hell.
France versus Belgium and England versus Croatia. So how are you feeling about the semi-finals?
You know what? I mean, I don't know. I feel like, Croatia's a good team. But I mean, I still think we've got a pretty good chance. I'm feeling pretty confident.
Yeah. You're feeling confident. Okay, that's good.
Confident.
That's good. I mean, after a display from last night, I would be too, because that was a mature performance. Like, it wasn't England dominated for 30 minutes and like it didn't feel like to me a back and forth game of football. Like, it felt like Sweden had a couple of natural moments, as you would at this level, where they could have scored. But in terms of how the game was played and who was in control, pretty much 89 minutes of the 90 minutes was controlled by England. They weren't 30 minutes of blowing their load, going real hard and getting kind of gassing out and then letting Sweden back in the game. And then they realized, oh shit, we need to get back in. And it wasn't a back and forth of momentum. It was England found their pace within the first 20 minutes. It was a bit, who knows? But after 20 minutes, you could tell England found their pace, and they sat on that comfortable pace the entire game and controlled the whole game.
Yeah, that's true.
I was very impressed. I was very impressed.
Yeah, it was really good.
And though we talked about this last week when the knockout round started, like the final 16 teams. I said I'm predicting the final to be France-Croatia. And I still am predicting the final to be France-Croatia, though I am rooting for England. I have no reason to be rooting for Belgium or France or Croatia, even though I have ancestors from Belgium and France. But, also have ancestors from England, so it's kind of all the same. But Croatia, nothing from, so fuck them. But I do think it'll be France-Croatia. I think France is going to win this whole thing, to be honest. But
Nah, it's England, man.
Mbappe, bro. Mbappe. He's savage.
Oh god.
Look, I'm loving it though. I told you this last week. I've never been into the FIFA World Cup ever before, but I've been watching every single game. I'm loving it. Loving it.
Yeah, it's a really good time. I haven't been into the World Cup as much as I have been this year since, I don't know, it's been a few years. Like, I've kind of taken a bit of time off. Like I used to when I was a kid. I was really into it, and then I sort of forgot about it for a bit. But this year, I don't know why, but it's been a really good time.
Yeah, so hopefully England can snap the semi-final and go to the final and beat Croatia. It's a big ask though. It is a big ask. I'm worried for sure.
I have faith in England. They got to do it. They got to do it now.
Yeah, I mean, if they play anything like they did last night, there's definitely a chance. Like these four teams, I think it's the right four teams. Everyone talks about how good Spain, Brazil, Argentina, Portugal are like on paper and their reputations, and I get it. But in terms of the teams that have been in form in this World Cup, these have been the four best teams. So I'm glad to see that they're the four teams that made the semi-finals and not like, Brazil, who kind of to me were a bit in the group stages, and I was like, sure, they've kind of picked up a bit. They picked up a bit, but I'm glad they didn't kind of push through. And Belgium got them, because I feel like Belgium have just been consistently at that level from day dot of the group stages to the knockout rounds now. Anyway, FIFA World Cup.
Yeah.
Cool. I do want to talk about that too. Yeah, because you've been tweeting non-stop and I love it.
I have. It's been most of my Twitter.
I love that you're into a sport, because I think it's weird. I do think it's a bit weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah. True.
Like, you into sport, it's very, it's just...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. Is there any other sport you like, or is it just football?
Not really. I think the only reason I like the World Cup. I don't follow football generally, but I do like it. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I grew up with it, because it's such a big sport in the UK, I guess. Because I can watch it, even if I'm not into it. I'm just like, oh yeah, it's nice to see people kick a ball about, I guess. I don't know. But the World Cup, I don't know. It's very fucking tense, and I like it.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think I got into it just because I watched the first day of the World Cup, the opening. One of the opening games, I feel like whether it was the first game or the second game, was France-Australia. It might have even been the opening game of the World Cup. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe it was maybe it was the second game, but it was on the first day of games, and I went out, and my mate who's a diehard like Liverpool supporter and is rooting for England all the way. He's like, "Oh, we got to go out," and so I went to a pub and watched the game. And anything Australia's in, and it's a World Cup. It's the big, football's the biggest sport in the world in terms of countries that play it. It's not even close to. It's not. It's like the 5th tier sport in this country, but I'm a patriot, so I was into it, and then I just kind of kept watching the games from there, and then I just got hooked. Even though Australia obviously was, as you'd expect, just happy to be here. Yeah, we made it. Just like, we're here. We're a part of it, which is good enough for me, I guess, at this point.
There. Plenty of countries weren't, so. Italy
wasn't there. Like,
true, yeah.
Countries that definitely just have to be there, and we definitely don't. Just because regions have to make it in, which I just think's funny. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. And what did you get up to this week? You're in London. What the fuck was going on?
Oh, yeah, true. Right. So, yeah, me and Alva went to London for our 4-year anniversary, and just sort of, we went around, did some shit. I'm trying to think what we did. I don't know. We did a lot of touristy stuff.
If you're like becoming friends or dating, like, is it like full on? Like, because you and Alva met online, right?
Yeah.
So was it like, when do you call? What's the anniversary? Like, what does it mean? What was the moment that you're like, we're together? Is it like, what was that moment?
Well, that's our anniversary. Obviously, it was 4 years ago. Was when we were like, oh yeah, we're a thing. Yeah. If that's how it happened.
Yeah, I know we talked about this like before.
Yeah.
But I just find it so interesting to think about, mainly because I forget, because I ask and then you tell me. I'm like, oh yeah, man, it's been like a year, we talk about it again. But like, how do you decide in a relationship where it's long distance and you meet on that you're actually like, well, let's commit to each other even though we haven't yet, met?
I don't know. I guess you just do. I don't really know. I can barely sort of remember it, but you just sort of do it. You're just like, oh yeah, I guess. You just talk about it and figure it out.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, I've got, because I just wonder, because I've got those Russian purchase brides, and I'm like, we haven't met in person yet. But I was just like, when do we finally commit? When's our anniversary? I was just checking. Things like that,
Oh god. But yeah. So we went to London and did some shit, and that was a good time.
You didn't leave the hotel though, obviously.
Yeah. Oh no, of course not.
Yeah.
Made a straight line from the train station to the hotel and never left.
Yeah, of course.
And then back again.
It was hard. Yeah, of course. It was hard enough to get outside in between. I mean, when you're inside the train, you're like, well, this is okay, I'm inside, but also there's people around here, germs, things like that.
Yeah, I'm just pushing myself, man. That's what I'm doing.
I'm proud of you that you did that. I feel like people that don't know the joke of you going outside, when I said you didn't leave the hotel, people immediately went to like thoughts and just like, yeah, they did it. High five, James.
Oh, classic.
Which, I mean, probably, but that's not what I meant when I said that. People are disgusting like that.
Yeah,
think
no, I
that.
can't stand it. That's sexist, I think.
Sexist. That's not till marriage, okay, guys?
Yeah, no.
God's watching.
Conservative thoughts, guys.
Yeah,
let's stop this.
Yeah, we're conservatives, and that means also we both believe in God, and none of us are ever, we don't have sex before marriage, either of us. So that's just how it works.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the one.
Yeah.
That's cool. True. And you met. I mean, we got to meet when you were in London, finally in person. You saw me, and George was there, and Pumbaa as well. So you got to meet.
Yeah.
Like,
it was incredible.
Yeah. It was like Kingdom Hearts. You went into a different world.
It was just like Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, just like it.
It was
went
exactly
into a world.
like it.
I do think it was funny when you posted the kangaroo picture, and it's just like, you're like, I got big shoes, man. I'm like, oh my god, that's hilarious. It makes sense. All of a sudden, the joke actually makes sense.
Accidentally, it makes sense.
Yeah. George's dumb meme accidentally makes so much sense all of a sudden, out of nowhere.
Oh god, I got big shoes. That's bloody great.
Yeah, what a meme. Like, I do want to say this outright, like at the start of this podcast. Like, I have a list here. We got plenty we can talk about, but also it has been a pretty fucking quiet week.
Yeah, it has.
Like, in the gaming world, nothing's happened.
At least I don't think anything's happened. I haven't really been paying a lot of attention.
I went looking. I couldn't find anything.
Alright. Well,
I even went to like YouTube drama to like find like, is the YouTube drama we can talk about?
God. That's when you know it's been a fucking slow week. What is going on?
Dude, I went hunting. I went hunting things. I've got topics on here that I'm like, you would know about this, but I wouldn't. So I'll bring that up. Things like that. You know, it's definitely not my best list. Like, there's a list here. There is a list, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm proud of it. I'm not proud of this list. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, we don't even have a fucking title, so.
Yeah, I know. You're like, what's the title? I'm like, you know what? Let's just leave it.
I'll figure it out afterwards. They'll be fine.
Let's let people give us topics. I almost thought about going to Patreon and be like, look, guys, we got nothing to talk about, so you guys, let's just do this in Clubhouse.
It'll be, what do you think about the modern day of Odyssey? What do you think about the other part of Odyssey? Also, there's this girl and she's really into star signs, and what do I do, guys? Help me. That would be the whole podcast.
That is Clubhouse, and you know
That's
what?
Every Clubhouse episode.
Let's say the podcast is 90 minutes. We spend 2 minutes answering the 20 topics about Odyssey's modern day, and we spend the whole other hour and a half talking about that one topic about star signs.
And it's the awesome. Greatest.
And it's awesome. And if people don't listen to Clubhouse on our patrons, you're missing out, because those podcasts are hilarious.
Yeah, that's true.
The last one was so much fun. We talked about. I'm not even going to say their names, because that's an exclusive love story to patreon.com/asalways.
It's my favorite.
None of you deserve to hear it. Yeah, I know. It's my favorite too.
It's one of the greatest.
I almost thought about messaging them and asking them. I'm like, look, guys, I told you a story on a podcast. I need updates. Can you please?
If you want to listen to it, you can pledge just $1 to patreon.com/asalways.
Oh, have you really? Where can we listen? Yeah, just $1, guys. Sorry. You can only hear the story about you that I can ask your permission to tell if you pay me money. You know, no big deal. No big deal at all. Free Run for Justice last Monday premiered episode 1. I want to say fucking thank you so much to everybody for the response, because it has been tremendous. About 3,500 views on episode 1.
Jesus.
And that's amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I definitely got more views than I expected. When I put out the trailer 2 weeks ago and I got 3,000 views, I was like, holy shit, there's no way the first episode will get that. Like, that's great. I found it so weird that the trailer got that many views. I was like, why? And I think it's your thumbnail, your amazing post you made, got people in. And I'm like, that many people watch the first episode. When they see the trailer, they're like, oh, it's not really what I thought. But no, more people have watched it. So I was like, gobsmacked. It smashed. The only episode of Freedom of Justice that's been watched more was the first ever one that's like an 11,000 views. And I was talking to Harlan today. I was like, yeah, but that only got that many views because it was, the title's like AC Unity Free Roam, The Dark Knight Rises. And people are like, well, what's that? You know, Batman's in the thumbnail. And it's like, people would click on it because they're like, what is that? It's not clickbait because it's what it is, but it's also a bit of clickbait in the sense of you have no idea what it would be, and you're clicking on it because you've been baited, I guess, by, why is Batman on a thumbnail about Assassin's Creed? What does this mean?
Yeah. True.
Whereas the title of this is just Free Run for Justice Season 3, Episode 1. That's the title. And it got that view. So that's just fucking amazing.
It shows that people have an actual interest in it. But at least even if it's just to see, like, oh, what is this? This could be interesting. Or maybe they've heard it on Kill Connor Club. Or, I mean, I think I posted it on my community tab on my channel, but...
Yeah, I'm super fucking and I appreciate you sharing it, hyping it with me, and and doing
it deserves all the views. Like I feel like with this season, because like the work you put into season Zorigin was it was a lot of work, but I don't think it got quite the recognition I might have liked. I don't know about you,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so I'm glad this
I mean,
one is.
it didn't get what I would have liked, but it got what I expected a Batman Arkham Knight series to get on my channel at that time.
Yeah.
And I at the same time, for me, Freedom of Justice is one of those series that I really do for myself, not for anything else. And I would have done it whether it got 100 views or not. I would have still made it. If every episode was 100 views, I would have still, and people are like, yeah, I don't like this. I'm like, well, I gotta explain this to you, is that I love it, and I'm super proud of it. And I'm super proud of season 3 and what it became from season 1 and 2 being like, they're just like gameplay freedom series. I'm a character. Season's Origins, like you said, I put in a lot of work, but this one I put even more work into this season, and I think it shows.
Yeah,
but I got
it was
the
really
practice.
fucking good.
Yeah, I'm so proud of it. And episode 1, and people are seeing that, and that's cool, and it's getting the recognition that I think it deserves, but I didn't expect. And even if it didn't get these views, I would have still been happy and proud of it and okay with it. But it just so happens I've got this awesome consolation prize of it's getting the views it deserves.
Yeah.
So and the comments were amazing. So
yeah, that's great. I'm really looking forward to episode 2 because I've seen the first episode a couple of times now because you posted it on Patreon, you sent it to me, and I watched it again when it went public. So because
I made a few changes. But they were so minor that you probably wouldn't even notice if you're watching the both cuts.
Yeah,
I just added I added a couple lines in that I didn't have before. I changed some lines and added some music stuff. Like that was literally what I did. It was all sound mixing was the real thing. Like there's a line where I pulled out like the flaming sword, and I realized I didn't address the fact that he's got a flaming sword at all. Like it just talks about having a sword. I'm like shit, I probably should say like, be surprised that my sword's on fire or something, you know what I mean? Like, so I added like a line where I'm like, holy shit, my sword's on fire, blah, 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 blah. And just a few music bits, just so like, because obviously the Bayek doesn't have a line in this. Like this is the first time I've cut all the voice acting of whatever character you're playing as in it out. So because of that, it's hard for me. I do a lot of sound editing, where I've gone and found sound effects for like desert sound effects, city sound effects, farm sound effects, just so like when I cut from like another character talking and then I have to cut the full game audio out, it's pretty jarring if you just, because all of a sudden it's muted and then you just hear me talking, but all of a sudden the background noise is also all gone and music is all gone. So every time there's dialogue, I also have to have music in there, which has actually been fun because I've gotten to use other soundtrack clips and put this in this. So like there's Revelation soundtrack bits in like gameplay of Origins, which is kind of funny.
That's pretty cool.
And also I always have to have like sound effects of like animals in the background. If there's like scenes at farms or whatever, I have to have just desert wind, things like that. Even just what the hardest one that I didn't think about until I was editing it one episode was when you hold your torch. And if Bike's ever holding the torch and talking, I'm like, shit, I have to have like, I almost didn't catch that one in the first episode where I had to find like torch fire sound effect.
Oh, yeah.
Just so I could have that going as well. So like, there's just those extra touches. Yeah, there's just those extra touches I had to do that I really didn't plan on doing because Season's Origin I didn't do it, but I just thought like this season's the last season, and also I don't want to just do what I've done in Season's Origin again. I want to like step it up and be like, this is gonna be better. I want to do even more. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to brag about how good I am or how good this thing is, but
well, it's great. It's bloody great. I'm looking forward to more.
And episode 2 is a lot of fun. I'm really happy with every episode though. I think episode 1's definitely a standout just because it has a lot of information in it. But every episode I feel like has cool shit in it. There's a few standout episodes though throughout. Like I think episode 3 is a pretty special one to me. And then there's a few episodes in there that to me I watch. I'm like, fuck, that's actually pretty good middle episode to have in this season. Like I'm really happy with how it's all turning out. But episode 2 is tomorrow, in 24 hours time. It'll be up, or just if you're watching this live, about 26 hours. Anyway, cool. Enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think of me, James? Yeah. Let's go to the list. Have you heard about Kingdom Come Deliverance's first DLC? I watched the trailer for that today, and
Yeah.
Makes me want to get Kingdom Deliverance.
Yeah,
It's called From Ashes.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I think it looks really cool, and I have no idea when I'm ever gonna get around to going back to that game, but because I broke my addiction. So if I go back to it, it's like, getting back on heroin after you give it up. But I suppose I'll go back to it at some point and play the DLC. But there's gonna be a few DLCs, so that's gonna take up a lot of my time.
You might wait till all of them. You might wait till all of them around and
maybe
then go. Yeah, might be a good idea.
And then play them all in one go, and then never touch the game again and leave it alone.
Yeah. I think that might be a better way to do it.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, that might be a good idea, to be honest.
It's like a Netflix season. You binge it. You know what I mean? You don't want to.
It's like
watch each episode and then wait 6 months. It's like Suits.
Hopefully not quite like that though.
Don't bring that up. Yeah, to ruin my life.
Oh god.
Ruins my life. Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. But it actually because that's like you build your own. It's not just like you build your own house. It's like your own community, and you like have problems in the community, and you're like the lord or whatever of it. Like I'm like fucking hell. This for real. This is it's already a game that's kind of its niche is its realism to its historical setting and just realism in terms of how you play the game in combat. The fact that there's hunger in it. It's just like a real world sort of. Peek into history, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And doing a DLC like this, you kind of have to do that. And I just think I'm watching it like that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it looks like a good time for sure. So I'm sure that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's kind of got elements of my dream game in it. It's just a bit too realistic for me. That's the only thing that's keeping me away from it. I'm just like, it's just the game might be too much for me.
Yeah, I mean it's
like Suits.
I think like Suits. The game at first is a bit because it's very different because of how realistic it is. But I think once you really play it for a while, it almost all that extra stuff sort of becomes just like it's like subconscious. You just do it because you know you have to do it, and you're not constantly thinking like, oh, I need to make sure I sleep or eat. Plus, you're getting all these like perks that do a lot of things for you and let you continue for longer. So once you're like, you've been going for a while, I got to this point where I was just playing it, going through the world, doing everything, and I wasn't finding it very difficult because I was sort of really used to how the game worked. But it's just getting to that point, where you've played it for a good amount of time that you sort of everything's not too much.
Yeah, you figure it out, all comes together, and then you're kind of in the zone of that game.
Yeah.
Speaking of games, what have you been playing at the moment? I know you've been away this week, but
I mean,
what have you been
Crew 2
playing,
came out.
watching? Of course, The Crew 2.
Yeah.
Is it everything you dreamed it would be?
Yes, it's the greatest game of all time.
Yep.
Yep.
I almost believe that you think that, to be honest.
I mean, I do think that. No, it's really good though.
Is it better than the first Crew game?
Yeah, definitely. Because it takes away the weight of, and by weight I don't mean like weight in a good way. I mean like weight as in it's really fucking weighing it down. It's annoying. Was the story in the first one. As much as I think it's cool when racing games try and implement stories, it didn't really add anything to the Crew. So the fact they took that away and made it you're just an up and coming racer. You have all you can train yourself in motorbikes or sports cars or Formula 1 or planes or these speedboats, whatever, and you can train in all of these, and you build up your reputation, get followers, and grow your fame and get money, get more cars, all that shit. I think that's a way better way of tackling it, especially when you've got this big open world and you've got these different types of races you can do. So all of that's a ton of fun. I mean, I haven't had a ton of time to play it because as I was making the video on it, I ended up then making the Assassin's Creed Odyssey video that I put out the other day about the lore that I worked on and made like a nice little video on, just sort of wrap that up so I never have to talk about it again.
I didn't watch that video, and it's not because I don't like to watch your content. Obviously, I always want to support your content. It's more because I don't watch any Assassin's Creed videos, full stop.
Yeah, well, everything I said, so it's...
Okay, do I?
Well, yeah, it's just Assassin's Creed lore. I basically, the just to quickly give you like a quick rundown on what the video is, I I start off and I establish how the animus works and how it was established to work through like the canon, through Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 and so on, and the way they've kept that up, and even when they've introduced things like Abstergo Entertainment and stuff like that, it still adheres to the lore. Like, it all still fits together and it works well, you know, with the helix and stuff. They just add more things, and although it's like them trying to do whatever, it doesn't matter, it still fits. And then I talked about how Layla's Animus doesn't fit that, and how Origins and Odyssey don't fit that, and how it's all a bit of a mess, and I sort of use the lore that we've already got, and I spent a good amount of time explaining it so everyone understands, because it can actually be sort of confusing until you really look at it, and I try my best to explain that, and then explain why the new games with Layla specifically doesn't fit any of that, and why it doesn't make sense, and why Ubisoft don't seem to understand how the Animus actually works, and that it's just decoding genetic memories, and it's not creating a simulation like a video game and running like a, you know, a simulation. It's just it's a machine used to decode memories in DNA, and whereas Layla's Animus isn't really that at all. So yeah, which is the problem. So I thought I'd make a video explaining that, and that's what the video is about.
Well, that is as much as I, you know, think that sounds great and people would like that. Also, just kind of stress, you know.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it. It doesn't fucking matter. I just thought I'd make a video on it because it was when that thing came out on Twitter about it was like that piece of rock that had everything is permitted written in it, and I was like,
yeah,
look, there was all this conflict between people saying shit. I was like, look, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna write out a big essay and put it all together. And I was like, there you go, that's everything. And this is why it's fucked. So there you go. But it was worth it because it's fucking getting a lot of views. So there's that.
Well, you know, I mean, it's Assassin's Creed videos, and you're doing them, so they always just get all of the views.
That's true. Every Odyssey video I've made has got so many views.
Yeah, so
that's
kind of how it works with you. Yeah, no, I know, I get that.
But yeah, I mean, so I was working on the crew video, like I was saying, and I didn't have time to finish it because I started working on this, and then I just didn't finish the crew video, and I haven't played the crew in a while. But I'm hopefully going to finish the crew video soon and get it out, so that'll be fun.
I haven't played anything in like a couple of weeks. I swear to God, I haven't played a video game in weeks.
Yeah, that's what I thought. The crew is the only thing I'm
trying to
think of.
I'm trying to think what I last played. You know what, I might turn on, because I downloaded Captain Spirit. Haven't played it, but I downloaded it like before Clubhouse last week. So this time last week I downloaded it, but I never played it. I haven't been on the Xbox since. Like, I haven't played something else. I feel like I jumped on like Halo, the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks, like 2 weeks ago sometime, and played like a Halo 3 mission and then like a Halo. I think my internet was down and I couldn't play a game offline. It was one of the only games you could play offline, actually.
Yeah.
I think that was what the problem was. I'll tell you what I wanted to do. I wanted to play the Ezio trilogy, because I do that once a year, and I haven't done that this year.
Yeah.
And I was thinking I was going to start Assassin's Creed 2, but I just didn't. And then, like, because my internet was down, then I played Halo, and then I just haven't played anything.
Yeah, I haven't been playing much. There's not a lot out, to be honest. Like, I'm finding it difficult to play. Like, I've bought so many fucking games in the past little while, and I haven't played any of them. I bought Morrowind and I started that. I bought fucking. I mean, obviously I've got the Crew 2, and I haven't played that in ages. Trying to think. I mean, there's a bunch of games, and I just need to find time to play them. But I don't know. It's really strange. Also, we got a super chat from Reese Julian.
Oh, Reese, what a fucking hero!
10 New Zealand dollars. So thanks for that. Which obviously
Reese
I'll
the
sort
hero
out
once
when
again.
I can. But I fucking super chats are so annoying. That wasn't the end of that sentence. Super chats are annoying because of the way YouTube handles them, and like it sort of combines them with revenue. But I'm sure I managed to sort that out. I still need to sort out the last ones that Reese did, but I won't get that until August, I don't think.
Holy shit! Yeah, of course.
But
of course, that's true. But Reese, you're a hero. We appreciate it. And when one day we eventually get the money that you sent,
that'll be great.
Speaking of YouTube and money, I got an email yesterday from Curse.
Oh, so did I. For Horsey and Fox. Was it the same email?
Yep. Yeah, I think it was the same email that our channels have been unlinked and let go from the cursed network.
Yeah.
And for supposed, I don't know, well, okay, I might know the reasons, but I don't think I can say the reasons. But yeah, all it says vague email about complying with Cursed need to comply with YouTube's policies, so unfortunately they have to let channel go. When I sent them an email asking them because it was very vague, it was just like, we have to let your channel go, unfortunately. That's all it kind of says. And I sent them an email like, what the fuck, have I done something? I've never got a strike, or what's going on? They sent an email like, look, unfortunately this email was right, like, we have to let you go. It's nothing you've done, we appreciate you, but we're just again, vague. We're complying with YouTube's policies, so
what does that mean, though?
Well, I talked to someone and they told me.
What is the reason?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about that.
Surely you're allowed to say. Why wouldn't you be allowed to say? I think it's like
YouTube are making networks downsize for some reason. I don't know the reason why. Like bigger channels, it's like your channel has to be a certain size to stay.
Right.
And it may be one of the first of many.
Oh, that's
networks that eventually this will happen to. So I'm not sure if I'm even going to try to go to another network or not. I might have to. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Oh, I don't know.
July 20th, my channel's no longer with any network. I'm a free agent, ladies and gentlemen.
Maybe you could just go through YouTube and just
try,
but then copyright can be an issue when you're just through Google. So I don't know. I mean, my second channel's only linked with Google. I'm not partnered with a network on my second channel.
Do I just go back to no ads again? Like, just don't even monetize?
I mean, you could do.
That's such a process to go through every video and unmonetize. Oh god, it's so annoying.
You might as well. You might as well just stick with Google. Just if you're not going to go the network, you might as well and just leave the ads up, just so it's there. Because why not?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. I'll just leave it. Whatever.
Oh god.
Whatever. I just wish it was just a pain in the ass, dude. What are you going to do with Horsey Fox, then?
Oh, I don't know. We don't make any fucking money off that anyway. So, we'll just leave it.
True. I guess. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I feel I've almost lost my voice, to be honest. Like, I feel like my voice has been pretty bad. Yeah. And there's a reason for that, James. I'm not sure if you've seen my Twitter today.
I haven't.
But you haven't? Okay. Well, you're gonna get annoyed. Today, I lost my voice because I was screaming so loud at about 2:30 this afternoon when Daniel Cormier, the UFC light heavyweight champion, knocked out Stipe Miocic, the world heavyweight champion, to become the world heavyweight champion and the second simultaneous two-division world champion in UFC history, in one of the best moments I've ever watched as an MMA fan. And then Brock Lesnar walks into the octagon, I'm pretty sure he's like the WWE champion right now, the fake wrestling champion. Mm-hmm. But he's coming back. He's a former UFC heavyweight champion. He's coming back to the UFC to real fighting. He walks in the octagon to challenge Daniel Cormier and then pushes him, and there's a scuffle while DC's holding two belts. And it's just incredible. It was absolutely bananas. And then Brock Lesnar goes, DC, I'm coming for you, motherfucker. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm about to cum my pants. But no shit, because I watched pretty much every big fight with my mate Joel. Mm-hmm. And he came over today and we're having beers. My dog was going nuts because I literally got up when DC dropped him with this right hook in the clinch, and then he knocked him out. I jumped up and I was screaming at the top of my lungs. Sometimes I film my reactions. I'd forgot to do it because I was so nervous. I wish I'd filmed it because it would have been hilarious to like put up on Twitter, like a 20-second clip. I was running around my couch doing laps, screaming, "He's the heavyweight champion! Oh my god, Daniel Cormier!" Like, just ridiculous, screaming, and now my voice is gone. It's been gone for the rest of the day.
Well, your voice sounds there, so.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe it's getting better as I'm talking. I had a coffee.
I didn't notice
just to
though.
I don't think it's gone. Like, I don't think I lost it. I just think my voice, like, my throat hurts.
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like, it hurts to talk, but I think I sound okay.
Yeah, you do. You definitely sound okay.
But I'm so happy. Daniel called me as the double champ, James. Just so you know.
I'm happy that you're happy.
I know, I appreciate that. And I know you're a really big UFC fan, so I wanted to just give you an update.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm a really big fan, but I just don't ever look at it. But I love it.
I know. Yeah. I know, because it's like what I was with Suits, where if you watch it, you're like consumed by it. So I just, you try to, like, for your own safety, you avoid it every so often. Anyway, this is the sports podcast edition of Kill Connor Club, apparently.
It is. That's true. It's good.
Is my connection okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, because you just kind of, to me, on my end, you sound like you're kind of dropping out, as if my internet's bad or something.
Oh.
I was wondering if is that making me sound sort of shitty.
Oh, no, you sound fine.
Okay, well, that's all I needed to know. That is all I needed to know. Do you want to talk about the shit that's gone on this week with the community?
I guess so.
I guess so. Well, I feel like Odyssey has been the worst thing for the Assassin's Creed community ever. Like, the divide it's caused is ridiculous. There's fights all the time, and it doesn't even involve you and I, and that's weird.
I know,
for me.
it's strange. We have nothing to do with it, and it's not just it's weird. The Assassin's Creed community is having such a divide. Like, but not just the divide. Everyone's really fucking defensive for some reason.
It's also like it's a passionate divide. It's not just like this unspoken thing. Everyone's arguing with each other all the time.
I know, and I don't know who this game's for. I don't know. I mean, see, I've seen a lot of people, like, I mean, obviously I've made 2 videos talking about why this game is fucking garbage.
Yeah, of course.
And we've talked about it on the podcast. Yep, it's gonna be fucking terrible. Yeah,
sure.
And
I mean, I think you have lower expectations than me. I think it's going to be, I think it's probably going to work fine. It's just going to be a shit story and suck it on with canon and everything like that. Like, it's going to be as a Assassin's Creed game, it's going to suck donkey dick. But I think I'm going to find fun in it.
I don't even know. I genuinely don't know.
I just want to be a fun Spartan.
Oh, I don't even want it. I don't even want that. I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, because a lot of people are just saying, oh, but as an RPG, it'll probably just be a good time. I don't even know if it's gonna be that, because it just, honestly, all of it just, it looks so fucking shit. Like, if it wasn't Assassin's Creed, I can't see me going, oh, that looks like a really cool RPG. I feel like I'd be like, this looks really bad. Like, this game looks like it should have come out 5 years ago. Like, why is this so bad? So I don't know, and I don't really care. Obviously, I'm gonna fucking play it. Like, a lot of people keep saying, oh, you're gonna play it anyway, so why are you complaining? So yeah, I am. I play every game. I can't help it. Even if I don't really want to, I play everything.
What else is he supposed to do? He doesn't leave his room, and he's trying to avoid UFC. So, yeah, what else is
What else am I gonna do? Am I gonna watch Suits? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think you should, but
maybe I should.
Yeah.
But yeah, I obviously I'm gonna play Odyssey. But at least I think I'm gonna play Odyssey. Maybe I won't. We'll see. But I think I am. But yeah, there's been a big divide. Everyone's very defensive, and everyone's arguing with each other, and all of that shit has happened. And yeah, it's a bit of a fucking mess in terms of I mean, obviously, like we've said, we're not really the Assassin's Creed community. I mean, especially not now. We never really were. We just sort of, we dipped our feet in it. We originated from the Assassin's Creed community.
We were balls deep in it for a while there, to be fair.
We were. But we were always... I mean, at least for the past 2 years, we've always been relatively separate. We're not really, we've never really mixed with anyone from the Assassin's Creed community, other than, like, the early years when we were just starting out, but...
yeah, that's true.
And especially now.
I love how we've been doing this long enough that we can say the early years.
The early years. Yeah, like 2014, 2015. It was sort of around 2016 when the movie came out. I think we sort of... I mean, there's a bit of separation there. But anyways, recently, like, obviously we're not really anything to do with the Assassin's Creed community anymore. Like, we're always going to sort of be, in and out because of, where we come from. But
But also the community that we've built is a part of it still too. Like there's a crossover with our community and the Assassin's Creed community. That's the thing that draws us, and not necessarily
we can't
you and
help
I.
that.
You know, we do podcasts and spoilercasts about all games and all movies. We talk about everything. We just talk about the FIFA World Cup, UFC, and fucking, we talk about dicks all the time. Just random shit. It doesn't matter.
We do talk about dicks all the time.
We do. We do. I do. You seem to get uncomfortable about it. So,
oh Jesus. But yeah. Yeah. So that's what's going on in terms of that.
But I tell you what I'm confused about. Not confused about. That I'm a bit torn about this. When I see the community arguing, and when I say the community, I mean people from the Assassin's Creed community, and also the people that are a part of that community, but in our community, that are getting into fights with people and are then getting told they're toxic or bad people or negative, or because they're associated with the Four Pillars community, therefore they're bad, and they're abusing people, they're bullying people just because they're not pussies, I guess.
Yeah.
They're critical and have some balls between their legs, whether you're a guy or a girl, have some fucking figurative balls. And I struggle when I see that, whether or not to get involved or not. How do you sit on that?
I think, when I see, it's different because obviously this community is a big part of obviously what we all do here. We built this community out of a love for Assassin's Creed, and then obviously we all, we're good friends, and Kill Connor Club and all of that shit with obviously me, you, George, and Ethan, and everyone, that joined us with that. And so it's a big part of what we do. And so when it's difficult when you see people then saying, when you look at like the shit, because obviously there's people in all communities that are going to be cunts and that are going to do things that obviously we can all agree is like, okay, well, that's too far. You've obviously done something and that's, you're a dickhead. But that's happened in the past. But when you look at people just disagreeing and having debates on video games, and someone else being like, oh no, you're toxic, you're just a hater, you're a terrible person, because they're not, I feel like a lot of people, when someone disagrees with them on a fucking video game, they take it personally, and they're getting really upset, like, oh no, you're being so mean to this person. It's like, no, they just don't agree about a fucking video game, and they're just defending that, and they're just in that debate, they're saying what they will, whatever. You shouldn't take that personally. You're talking about fucking video games. And so I try my best to stay away from it, and when people get fucking petty over dumb shit on the internet, normally, I used to get involved. Maybe I'll say, like, I did put out a tweet when all this shit happened with the Reddit community, just saying, like, what I thought about it, because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, the shit that fucking happened, like, it all stemmed from something
What's this
really
on Reddit?
dumb. It was the stuff with Amir and Tyrol and and all of that stuff. It was, I think... Oh, okay. So I wasn't around because I was busy. I came back and everyone was on the Discord.
I almost forgot about that because there was other drama that happened. I forgot that was the thing that happened.
Yeah, it was. So I came back and I went onto the Discord just to see how everyone was doing, just because I like to, just say hi to everyone. And everyone was just like, the chat was going a bit mental, and everyone was like, oh, fucking hell, this is happening and that. And I'm like, what is going on? And everyone explained that it was it was something to do with the star player thing. I don't really know. Do you know better than me? Because I'm still really confused on what happened. Like, Amir quoted Tyrol or something, and then...
well, Amir, for some reason, didn't know that Tyrol was once a star player.
Yeah.
I don't really know how he didn't know that.
Okay.
But because Tyrol said, oh, looks like the 2017 star players will get a code to the crew too. And he tweeted that because Tyrol was one of the 2017 star players, and he got a code to the crew too. So he's tweeting about him getting the code. Yeah. And Amir retweeted that and said, I've always had a theory that star players are like bought... I don't know. I don't want to misquote him, but it was along the lines of like bought off opinions.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he was saying. If you say something positive, you get rewarded for that. And so that's sort of what Ubisoft's doing. Yeah, I get that's what he was going for, yeah.
Like, for people that just suck dick and are uncritical, like, we'll get that, and this proves it, or something like that, was how it kind of ended. And for me, I just think that's... Well, one, he didn't have all the information, didn't know Tyrol was a star player for some reason, didn't get that from the fact that it was him tweeting about it, but also the fact that Tyrol, Dylan, one of the moderators on the subreddit, for people who don't know, is, I think, though I don't really agree with him on a lot of opinions on Assassin's Creed. I do agree with a lot of him on some, actually, but there are plenty I've seen from just what he says about it that I disagree fundamentally with him on. But I do think there's no doubt in my mind he's a critical thinker when it comes to Assassin's Creed, and he has issues with it, and he always talks about on Twitter that I see when he has issues with it. So to use him as an example of someone that's like quote unquote bought off by Ubisoft to me is so ridiculous, because it's I don't know how you can think that about him, because I think he's a pretty genuine dude, a nice dude, and a critical person. Not that I know him at all, because I don't think he likes us at all.
Oh no,
but that's
no, he does not.
Yeah, no, but I mean, you and I don't care about that. We have plenty of people that hate us.
No, not
we
at
don't
all.
have anything against them. We don't care.
Well, I don't know him. He doesn't know us.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
I like him just. Yeah, exactly. I like him just fine. But I think he's a critical thinker, and I would think it's a terrible example.
Yeah. And
second of all,
I think
my second big problem with the point was also, I get free games from Ubisoft, so I don't really know how that argument works anyway. You know, like the fact that you know, if you're a star player, you get bought off. I'm like, well, Emil knows that I am a critical person of Ubisoft. If Tyrol isn't, which he is. Fucking hell, I know I am one of the most vocal and loud and obnoxious critical people there is in the community, and I get free shit all the time. It doesn't even have to be Assassin's Creed. I got The Division with its season pass for free when it came out. I get games all the time from Ubisoft free. I literally just have to ask them for a game, and they've given it to me every time I've asked. Yeah,
they have plenty to spare. It's not like they're selecting, people that are just saying yes. They give so many games out. Like, a big company like Ubisoft, they give so many games out. Like, I used to get games. Don't anymore. Blacklisted. But I used to, and I've never been... I haven't changed that much. Like, I think I got the Ezio collection. I got Far Cry Primal. I got the DLC for the first crew. And you know what I'm fucking like. And I've always been like that.
You're a horrible person. Yeah.
So does Ethan. Yeah, like Ethan's saying, he gets stuff from Ubisoft as well. So I don't think that's necessarily a good point. I get what he was saying, and I get his point. I agree with the basis that I think Ubisoft do like to reward people that are very just like yes men, but I don't think what he was saying, how he was saying it was accurate, especially using Tyrol as the argument, because Tyrol is
it was terrible execution of the point he was really trying to make. And I don't have anything. I don't think. And then he got torn apart by people for everyone was calling him a piece of shit, telling him to fuck off and stuff like that. And Amir's not a bad guy. I like Amir a lot. I think he's a great guy.
Yeah, so
I just think he fucked up there. He fucked up there a bit.
Yeah, he did. And I think Amir does jump the gun on a lot of things, like when he called out Ash for lying. On Reddit when Origins was coming out, he was like, you said we'd learn about this thing, you lied. And then Ash replied to it with a big paragraph saying, well, I think that's an attack on my character. I wasn't lying, like, how development works, blah blah blah. And Amir regrets that as well. I think he knee jerks a lot of things when he sees something. He's like, oh shit, I need to say something about this or whatever. But I think what happened was, after he quoted Tyrol and whatever, and after Tyrol got mad at him for that, Tyrol went, from my understanding, from what I've been told, Tyrol went to the AC Reddit Discord to sort of, rant about it. And then Amir, obviously being Amir, went to the Four Pillars Discord as well. And then a bunch of people went over to the AC Reddit Discord to be I
didn't know any of. I've missed all this. I didn't know this
and he was like, we're not all like this. This was a misunderstanding. Blah blah blah. They all had a fight, and then the AC Reddit Discord sent a bunch of people over to the Four Pillars Discord to come over here.
No.
And
how dare they?
And so they were all here arguing with people in our Discord, and everyone was just losing their shit. It was a fucking mess, apparently. And then obviously Dylan was just saying on Twitter how the Four Pillars community is toxic, and
Pillars?
And
did you say that?
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure he said that. Everyone knows what the Four Pillars is. Everyone always says it, and they're always really angry about it. I'm pretty sure he said it.
Pillars
Oh, loads of people say it. Claudio said it before when he was like, oh, you know, all the fucking, you know, the Four Pillars or whatever, and then bloody son of Sekhmet's always been, oh, those bloody British twats from the Four Pillars.
What did he say? What did he say about the Four Pillars? Claudio.
I don't remember. It was a while ago. When he mentioned the Four Pillars, but also there was that other drama where he was like, you know, go fuck yourself really hard or something to Amir.
Yeah, really hard.
Oh god. Normally I'd know all of this.
Do it really hard.
Normally I'd know all of what happened, but I wasn't there, so I'm just hearing what everyone told me and trying to piece it together because a lot happened apparently. But everyone, yeah, it was a bit of a mess, and then obviously Tyrol was saying like, oh, you know, he put on Twitter. I mean, as much as I think Tyrol,
he didn't say Four Pillars. He didn't say Four Pillars are toxic at all.
Did he not? I think no. I think he said that on his Discord. That's what who I don't want to name names just to you know, in case people don't want to be named. But someone that is on that server said to us, you know, that's what he was doing. He came in and he was saying, oh god, the Four Pillars are so toxic, blah blah blah, and he was like ranting about it. And then you know, that's what happened when they were all like arguing with each other and going over to the Discords or whatever. And then that's when he put on Twitter like saying, oh, you know, talking about the epic haters that hating on him or whatever. And
I think most people like him a lot. I don't really think he has any haters.
It's just because it was a
I don't think he knows
it was just
what
a
it's like to get hate.
I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people could take it really personally and take it to heart. And I think I don't like using the word upset, but I think it upset him when Amir said what he said. So I think he got really annoyed over that.
Clearly upset a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, and
anyway.
so that's when all the shit happened where people just were saying, you know, the Four Pillars are toxic and everything, and that's where that came from. And so I just wanted to put out a tweet just saying, you know, as much as you know, we're just different. We're just not, you know. I don't think I don't know. It was a difficult situation. I've forgotten a lot of it because I just sort of moved on after I put the tweet out because it was fucking it was fucking ridiculous.
I think the essence of frustration, because it all comes from frustration for a lot of things, and it's not this isn't really even about the troll thing anymore. It's just about the community in general.
Yeah.
That play Assassin's Creed, and that's all the different, you know, points of it, whether it be the Reddit people or whatever. And the frustration is the frustration that you and I have had in the past that we've let go of now because we're over and we don't really care anymore.
Yeah.
And it's the, you know, these, you know, quote unquote Ubisoft yes men, you know, get all these things and people feel left out and excluded just because they don't praise everything Ubisoft do. They don't suck its dick. They'll say yes to whatever sort of thing. Like, this is what I hear, and this is what I've thought in the past. And I mean, I definitely still think it to some degree. Obviously not about Tyrol. And trust me, I'm not trying to like suck up to Tyrol. I don't even know him, and I know he doesn't even like me. So I literally don't care. I'm just being honest. I'm not going to lie here. I think he's a nice person that is not at all a yes man. But there's definitely a lot of Ubisoft yes men out there. Claudio's one of them, 1,000,000%. I don't think he's got a critical thinking bone in his body, and I also don't trust anyone that acts that nice at all ever. So, no. Yeah, anyone
There's
that's that
no way
nice,
anyone's that fucking nice.
I just do not trust you. Which anyway, also he doesn't like us anyway. So again, and I don't care. Like, so it doesn't really matter anyway. No, I'm just saying that there are Ubisoft yes men out there, and the fact that they get a lot of, they always go to events, they're always at this, they always get that, they always get that. People get frustrated by it. But I mean, who else do you think is going to get those things? Companies do those things for people, and of course they're going to do it for those sorts of people.
Exactly, they're trying to make money. Like, why would they be promoting and...
It's not even about money. Big companies do things like this. You know, they hold events, they try to create a community. When they try to do things like that internally with like developers, they want to have communication with people that play their games. Those are the people they want to meet. Why in the world would Ubisoft want to meet me? Let's be real. Like, in what universe do developers think that are working really hard day and night on the game? They're like, let's invite Tyler. I bet he'd be a lot of fun to talk to. You know what I mean? Like, I bet he'd be really nice to us and you know, and praise everything we do and make us feel better and like be really like no, fuck no. I would not be the most fun person to talk to. I'd just ask really annoying questions. Like, so why is this going on? Is there any reason I get in arguments about it? Like, I wouldn't be an asshole. I'm obviously be polite and everything, but it's not. Who would I bring? I'd bring Claudio if I was from Ubisoft. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, true.
The only thing I'm done with not naming names. I'm done with pretending like this shit doesn't happen and like trying to be like, for example, like if let's say we've said Claudio and Tirol, we've been talking about this. These are like what arguments have been about.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past, I feel like we don't talk about names. We're just like, well, community fights and blah blah blah. But I'm like, who cares? When people aren't gonna like us anyway. I've let that go. The fact that people aren't going to like us and they're going to think what they want about us. But that doesn't mean we can't be honest. It doesn't mean we can't be genuine and like not get upset and emotional about it, because you and I aren't.
Yeah.
We don't get upset about this drama. I feel bad for the people that are a part of our community, that are part of the 4 pillars that are getting judged.
It's also based on nothing. What the fuck is it based on?
Like very, very disingenuously, because they think they think you're a bad person. And I say you because I don't really think people think I'm a bad person, because I don't really think people even think about me, to be honest.
Oh god, that took a turn. That went from like bigging yourself up to like, I am nothing.
No, I just mean like you're a lot bigger than me.
Well, I mean, people like to think about the bad. People aren't going to think about 4 pillars and go, oh yeah, Tyler's really nice. They'd be like, wow, Lasers is a piece of shit. I hope he fucking dies. I hope he dies.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, and I mean, it's the same as, I mean, you see where it comes from, because it's clearly not really based on anything, because remember back when we did the hashtag this is my Bayek, and everyone was like, wow, I'm so fucking offended, this is unacceptable, and then they realised it wasn't anything, but it was just based on, the 4 pillars did a thing, I bet it's fucking terrible, just because of what they've heard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, people thought it was, like, racist.
It's like, how?
What?
How is that racist? What
and
are
people say,
doing?
like, they thought we hated Bayek. I'm like, okay, wow. And then as soon as, like, but then again, it became this viral meme in the community, and everyone was doing it. Oh, this is my Bayek. It was a massive, massive
did it.
thing.
Abu did it. It was great.
Everyone loved it. It was a great thing, and it was a great... People didn't know we started it by the time it became a thing, you know what I mean? Because everyone was just doing it.
Yeah.
Just how you shared your character with everyone.
Yeah.
People loved it. I think it was a really nice thing. It was one of the best things we've ever done in terms of positivity.
Yeah, I think
with
so
the
as well.
And yeah, but people like you said, people don't know us, and I just the only thing I ever sometimes feel bad about is that these people that are a part of our community that support us, that are great people, get treated like shit by these smart mouth assholes sometimes. The actual Ubisoft yes men. But just because they're a part of our community and they don't like us. I don't care if they don't like us. I don't give a fuck. But I do feel bad. It does upset me that other people get treated like shit and like second-class citizens in the Assassin's Creed community just because they support us. Yeah. As if we're assholes. I know we're not assholes, but they can think I'm an asshole. It's not going to affect me. But that does annoy me when it affects other people. Especially the best people that are supporting us. Because they know us, they've given us a chance, and they know we're good people. We just have our own opinions, and whether they like it or not, we're going to voice them. We're always going to be honest. We get things wrong all the time, but we're always going to try to tell you what we actually think. We're not going to. Yeah,
I think like
our
goal.
And honestly, James, and I'm going to be honest here, as honest as I can be.
Yeah.
When Claude, let's say, I'll give you an example. One of the other dramas that happened was someone said something to Claudio about, well, Odyssey's not canon, so how can you think, like, criticized Claudio's opinion about Odyssey. Mm-hmm. Who was just very like, yeah, of course it's going to be amazing, it's Assassin's Creed, whatever, and he's going to love it. Good for him, maybe he will. I don't really care about his opinion whatsoever, whether he likes the game, whether he likes me. I don't give a fuck about Claudio or anything he thinks. Mm-hmm. But he then, let's say, laughed at someone's face and just was very disingenuous and very negative. Patronizing. But to be fair, not to Claudio, but to be fair to, let's say, me or to you judging that. As if you and I haven't done that too. You know what I mean? We have been patronizing cunts to people with opinions we don't like before too. Just because we think our opinion's right, we don't really think about that. But I've thought about that a lot this week. And there's been plenty of times where someone said something, and whether you think, like, I agree with you, it was a dumb thing to say if someone said to you, well, dude, it sounds like you just don't understand, Connor's like the best. That is kind of a response you would say to them. Haha, fucking idiot. like you've got autism or something like that. And you say it's a joke, and I get it, and and you know what I mean? And I don't think your opinion's wrong in the sense that Assassin's Creed 3 is shit. But to be fair, like, we can't really, and when I say we, I mean, like, I don't think everyone probably does shit like that, but I certainly can't go to Claudio and be like, well, Claudio, what a fucking asshole Claudio is. I've done shit like that, but I just think my opinion was right, so it doesn't matter as much. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it is actually difficult. It's difficult to look at it in that way because it is like I feel somewhat like me being that way. It has more merit to it because I've at least considered things and been like, look, what is I've tried to be critical, and so when someone is not critical, I feel like it's less we mock their opinion, it's more we mock the sense that they haven't even tried to think critically about it, whereas we have. I feel that's where it comes from. Whereas with Claudio, it's more, wow, you're just a fucking hater, like, so I'm gonna laugh at you.
But we've handled it the same way he's handled it, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be patronizing. And I'm
true.
like, just because our intentions might be different, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But maybe Claudio was joking. You know what I mean? Maybe to him, he's like, I'm just going to, who cares, whatever, I'm just going to laugh at him. I don't know how we know that. What's that?
I'm pretty sure he was upset.
I agree with you. But again,
we don't know. He could be a massive troll. He could be he's really, like, it's all satire.
He could be the best of the trolls. Yeah, he could be the best of the trolls.
Possibly.
His whole personality's a troll. You don't know. But you know what I'm saying. I don't think in some levels I want to judge him or anyone else when I think about it, honestly.
Well, I never did,
you've done shit like that. I've done shit like that.
Yeah.
It's... we all have.
Yeah, I think I never judged... When I saw the tweet with Claudio being like that, I was just like, look, it's just a back and forth between Claudio and Ethan was involved and whatever. Like, it was just a back and forth. I never looked at Claudio and went, wow, what an arsehole. He's wrong. I just looked at it like... It was just funny, to be honest. That whole situation was just funny. With Claudio, and with Amir, and then, Ethan was there as well. And then you got Sunna Segmet saying, they have a hater orgy or whatever.
And
it's
hilarious.
So it was...
that guy's literally a living meme, and he continues to build
funny.
meme being
so
a
funny.
fucking idiot. Yeah.
And so I mean, I definitely don't dislike anyone that out there. Like, I don't dislike Claudio. I don't dislike Son of Sekhmet. I don't dislike Tyrol. I don't know any of them. I just don't care. Like I said in my tweet where I talked about what happened with Tyrol and Amir and everything, I was just saying, like, I actually
like Tyrol. Even though he doesn't like us, I actually like Tyrol.
I mean, I like the way I at least like the way he is. I like the way he thinks and the way that he, is critical about things in sort of like a Luma sense. I mean, obviously, I love Luma. I think Luma's a great guy, and we know him a lot better because we've spoken to him a few times. Whereas with Tyrol, it's like I don't know him as a person. I couldn't say whether I like him or dislike him, but I know I don't dislike him. Even if he does dislike me, like I don't know him. But for the way he interacts with Assassin's Creed and the community and the way he handles stuff, like he does a good job on the Reddit and all of that stuff. He's great at what he does in the community. He's also great with critical thinking, even if I don't agree necessarily with his opinion. He's at least good at laying things out and being critical. So I like him in that sense. He has
reasoning behind. If he has an opinion, he'll give you a reason behind that opinion that's clearly well thought out.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that about him. But other than that, I don't really know him, so I couldn't say. But yeah, there's no one I necessarily dislike. I think I could say 2 years ago or so, maybe that was like, oh, I fucking hate these people. They fucking suck. But
yeah, sure.
I'm just, no, not anymore. I don't really think anything about anyone. If I don't know them, I can't possibly hate them or dislike them. It's just, they're just there, I just might disagree with them. But I can't be bothered with this internet fucking arguing and stupid fucking drama. It's so dumb when you don't know anyone and all you're doing is disagreeing on fucking video games. And everyone's just like, oh no, I fucking hate these people and I'm so angry. I don't know. I just think it's all fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I just think to wrap this sort of conversation up is that if you don't want to have these arguments and you really have a problem with someone in the Assassin's Creed community and the way they think, and you're like, well, this person's a yes man and they just will suck and sick, well then don't fucking talk to them. For sure, don't follow them on Twitter and don't respond to their tweets. because there didn't need to be any argument with someone like Claudio, because if you think he's Ubisoft yes man, but of course he is, why would you engage him though? I just don't understand.
Yeah, like calling him out is not going to do anything. All it's going to do is upset him and have him fight with you for a big long tweet thread, and it's going to be nonsensical, it's going to be ridiculous, and then you're going to be really annoyed and frustrated with it. There's no point. Just don't engage with these people if you like. It's because obviously you can engage in a debate about something if you want to, and you can do that. But if it's it just does depend. I think just use common sense when you're looking at something. Be like, do I really need to like call this out or not? Just to avoid those things. Unless you don't care, unless you don't really want to avoid those things, then by all means, knock yourself out. But
do what you want, I guess. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, I think the message of this is just do whatever the fuck you want. Actually, to be honest.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah, we're gonna.
I don't care. But my point was, to sort of round this off was, people saying, that our community is toxic. People saying, that this community is just full of bad people and whatever. It's a load of bullshit. And
we know that's not true. A load of rubbish. These people don't know us.
Yeah. I got. My goal has never been to make friends with everyone. I don't want to be friends with everyone. So when I engage with someone, or when anyone does from this community, I don't think they're looking to be their best friend. I think they're looking to engage them, talk about a video game or talk about a movie, and be like, this is my opinion, this is your opinion. No, neither of us need to take it personally, and neither of us need to be friends or enemies. We're just engaging about, just a discussion. And I think people look at that the wrong way, and they're like, these people are assholes. But it's like, well, no, I'm not. We're not trying to be your friend, and I think that's the way. But that's their mentality. Is they all have to be like really friendly with each other and be best friends all the time, be really nice and stuff like that. And when someone's not like that to them, they're like, oh, they're an asshole. They're just being negative. They're being, mean. Whereas they're not. They're not trying to be mean to you, but they're also not trying to be your friend either. They're just talking.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree with you. And as you said, we know our community, and we know it's a lot of rubbish when people talk shit about it. Like, it is what you don't care, I don't care. Maybe at times we have in the past, but certainly have not for a long time have we really cared what people think of us and this community. We know how awesome it is, and that's why it's one of the, if not the biggest part of the Assassin's Creed community in terms of the Assassin's Creed community is huge, far bigger than this, but it has lots of corners. But ours is the biggest. If you talk about if you break down subsections of real hardcore fans, not just you've got the general community. There's so much more people than us.
Yeah,
but if you've gone to like 8, oh god.
And let's go.
Let's go. Look, ours is one of the biggest, if not the biggest subsection, because of what our size, and there's a reason for that. It's not because we're arseholes, you know what I mean? And people that think that are really not worth your worrying about anyway.
Could you imagine?
Just enjoy.
If we were that, could you imagine if our channels and our our size and our community was this big, because we're terrible people and everyone in it are just terrible people, and we all hate each other and everything, and that's why. It's like, that's obviously not the fucking reason, is it?
Yeah, no, I mean, no, but we're toxic, and we spread toxicity. Apparently,
oh,
whatever.
God.
We've done some amazing things, and we do the most really in terms of like community outreach and being together, I think, than anyone. The streams we've all done together, the fact that we do this podcast, and it's a platform where this community has a voice and people in it that represent them, talking to each other about things, that disagree on things, that can talk about more than just Assassin's Creed. The fact that we've done, with Brett and people like Ethan and George and stuff, done so many like collaborations, for charity, the charity streams you do every year, the charity stream we did last year playing AC multiplayer, all the stuff we do with the community is awesome, and I think it's one of the best things. So if people don't want to address that and don't acknowledge that, that's them, and people are very selective with what they see that we do, and select only the worst parts, and maybe only know of the worst parts, but that's on them.
Yeah, I like to think of this community as just, we're just a big group of friends. We all get on. we have a good time, and anyone is welcome to join if they want. Like, I mean, I think the Discord is a huge part of that. It really allows people to interact with each other and with like the creators and like people like me and you as well. Because I'm always on Discord and people can just join and we can just have a laugh. And I think it's good. I think it's better than. I think it's a really good. Discord's a really good way of linking and sort of crossing that barrier where it's like, you know, you don't have to like personally talk to everyone, but you can. It's good. The community's good, and I think that you'll always have that sort of tight knit part of it that we have and that we do pretty well.
I think so too. I think Patreon's been a cool thing too. Doing the Clubhouse podcast and talking to patrons. Yeah. It is cool. There's a lot to be happy about, and that's what I want to focus on. That's what we do try to focus on the most, and not this drama. And I did like I said, I had to resist getting involved sometimes because I had an idea of like, man, I could just put one tweet out and roast the fuck out of who. Like, there's a couple times I thought about this. I was like, oh, I could just destroy them, but I was like, my thing was I was also like, I was always at work when it was happening, and I was like, I would tweet this, it would cause an issue. And then I wouldn't be able to respond for hours, and it might cause other people to get either upset or people in our community to be like, I show up to help him out, and then I'm gone. I'm like, you don't throw a punch unless you're staying to fight, sort of thing. And so I'm not just going to come in, throw a punch, and then run away like a bitch. So I just didn't get involved, and it's probably for the best. Yeah. And I usually think that's the case. If you're not sure about whether you should comment something on YouTube or reply to someone saying something mean to you or tweet something or be involved in this bullshit, if you have to think about it, it's probably a no. It's 99.9% of the time a no, don't do it.
Yeah, I agree. It's the same. I said to this to them. I mean, this is kind of off topic, but I said to the mods on Discord, just for anyone that's listening that didn't hear what I said. I think I pinned it. I said, you know, because people were talking about people coming into the Discord and spamming shit and it just being a bit of a fucking mess. And I was like, I just had to ban like 6 people because it was a fucking mess. And everyone was like, look, we didn't know whether we should be banning people or whatever. And I think the best way to look at it is if you have to think, does this person need to be banned? I mean, it's normally yes. They normally do need to be banned because if you're looking at that and you're like, this is a bit fucking weird, maybe do we need to? Probably you do. And if you don't, I can correct it afterwards anyway. So it's fine. I'd rather have you do that than not ban, you know, a bunch of people called I like gay porn spamming dab in the Discord chat. That'd be great. Thanks, guys. Yeah. Our community's great.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. And it's not going anywhere no matter how much other people don't like. So they're just going to have to accept it and deal with it. And if they have a real problem, come fight me about it. Come meet me in the streets, bro. And I'll be ready. I'll have my, shirtless like a skinhead. And I'll just be raring to go.
Have a big fight. That'd be great.
Yeah. And we can play Yu-Gi-Oh cards to determine who stays in the community and who leaves. That'll be the battle. Oh, you thought you were going to show up and fight me like this? No. Playing Yu-Gi-Oh, bro. Now I'll have 2 extra set up, and you're gonna have to face the Tynamite in an Assassin's Creed multiplayer battle. If you think you're gonna fight me for real? No. This is the Tynamite here. You're gonna have to go to war.
Oh god.
In Assassin's Creed multiplayer, that's gonna happen. Anyway, let's move on from this.
Okay.
That was a long topic. But speaking of Ubisoft, I guess, and Law's dead and everything like that, the Finite Experience is gone, supposedly. Ubisoft is done with Finite Experiences. And they say it's all about the ongoing delivery of content. What do you think of all this, James? I bet you're really happy about it, and this will be a fun topic.
I'll tell you what, man. I'm really, really, really hyped for that. I really hope that Odyssey continues for 10 years. I really hope we have a 10-year life cycle for every Assassin's Creed. So they'll release Odyssey, and we'll spend 10 years getting Trials of the Gods and Raider side missions. And that'll keep me coming back. And then we get our next game, and they'll do the same. That'd be well good. I'd love it, to be honest. That'd be sick.
Yep, cool.
Yeah. I don't really know where to take this.
Yeah, okay. Well, those are great response. I really appreciate the work you put into making this an entertaining podcast for everybody.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know. Yeah. So they're stopping now doing the old. They're basically saying they don't. What was their exact statement? It was something like, we don't want experiences, with a narrative or something that you like play and then forget. We want like an ongoing thing or something. I have to find it.
Okay, I'll read the article. I've got it here.
Okay.
So
I'll get it up too.
This is the article. It is from VentureBeat.com. The article is titled "Ubisoft is finished with quote Finite Experiences." So who wrote this article? Jeff Grubb. Shout out. Said, your experience... I'll read just a little clip of the article. Right. Your experience with Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege never has to end. And Ubisoft is looking to bring that ongoing, long-lasting relationship to all its games going forward. In an interview posted to its news blog, Ubisoft Vice President Lionel Reynard explained how the company wants to give players lots of smaller stories instead of one contained narrative that you finish and then forget. Which sounds, I mean, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, so you mean you're not going to make a game with these characters in Assassin's Creed and then never deal with them again, forget about them, like you've done every year, including this year with Bike? Go fuck yourself. Mm-hmm. Anyway, he goes on to say, this is part of the company's move toward games as a service, which we've talked about many times. We know this is going on, where it constantly updates its releases to keep players coming back for months, if not years. But Reynard explained exactly how a number of smaller stories better serve both Ubisoft and its players. Quote, what drove this is the will to not give finite experiences. The idea was that you have this conflict and the resolution, and then it's finished. Goes on to say, you've killed the bad guy, for instance. We build a strong nemesis. No, you don't. And the goal of the game is to kill him for free or free the country. What? We've done that a few times in our games. But when you succeed, you have to leave the game because there is nothing else to do. So the goal was to break this and say that you will be the hero of a region or population many times, not just once. And if you get rid of a dictator or an oppressor, something else is going to happen in the world and you will have a new goal, end quote. So that's
that sounds like
longer.
That sounds like they're saying... That's the dumbest thing I've ever fucking read. So their answer to that isn't to make sequels with characters with an ongoing story. Their answer is, we sell you one game and give you copious amounts of unlimited DLC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why?
But that game will also be smaller because, smaller stories. Like the story will be like 2 hours. I don't know, not really. But yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know. Because it looks like to me, let's say with Odyssey, for example, even not main quests, but side missions have there's a lot more storylines. I feel like the story won't be that long in terms of missions. Like it'll be long in terms of you've got to level up a lot and spend a lot of time doing side missions.
Yeah. And
then by the time you start the story and end the story, it's a long period. But in terms of if you just played the story missions, it would be... how to put it? Yeah, it'll be quite short, if you will, quite a small amount of content in comparison to maybe past stories. In terms of
well, I mean, Origins wasn't very long.
I'm like, just because I have to do side missions before I can play the mission doesn't make the story long. Yeah. It's still this missions that are just spread out.
Yeah, because Origins was really short. It was only 6 to 9 hours. It's not a very fucking long game.
Yeah, and it seems to me like Odyssey has a lot of side mission storylines where you might have a 4-quest side mission on an island, and it's the story will be real spread out, even more spread out than Origins was.
Yeah.
And it'll be very short and limited, but there's going to be a whole bunch of these smaller stories, and when it comes to DLC, it'll just be, here's a new area, and here's another small storyline.
Yeah.
There's going to be lots of that.
Makes sense.
Potentially.
That sounds really shit.
Because it's you can have love interests or whatever for even if as side characters.
Yeah.
It's not even in the main story you'll meet these characters you can have a relationship with. It's no, you can bones to this chick on an island, and because you have a couple of missions with her, and that's about it.
Yeah. That sounds like a really bad game. I don't.
Yeah,
That sounds really
does.
bad. That sounds like the opposite of what makes Assassin's Creed good.
It's not really Assassin's Creed though, is it? Like I'm right now. I just started up. We're talking about it. I said I wanted to play the Ezio trilogy. I've started up Assassin's Creed 2, and I'm like, yep, this is Assassin's Creed, and Odyssey is unrecognizable.
Oh god, yeah, it's disgusting.
Unrecognizable.
Never did I think this would happen.
If you handed me Odyssey after I finished Assassin's Creed 2, I'd be like, oh, this is obviously in every way completely different franchise. This isn't this isn't the same thing universe. This is like its own. This is less. Yeah. It's not at all in any way.
Oh, it's so shit.
Not quality-wise, not gameplay-wise, not story-wise, not anything-wise, not tone-wise, not gameplay world-wise, not lore-wise. It is nothing at all recognizable to when you play the best games, it being the Ezio trilogy. When I say games, I mean the only real games, because I've decided that Assassin's Creed 1, 2, Brotherhood and Revelations are the only Assassin's Creed games. As much as I love Origins and Black Flag, fuck them, just because of they're a part of everything that happened afterwards, and unfortunately they go in the list of the afterwards, the post, when D-Day happened, when 3-Day happened.
God, the Battle of Bunker Hill happened.
The Battle of Bunker Hill.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, but yeah, it's really shit. Really shit.
Yeah, anyway. Classic Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I really also, we've talked a lot about the community arguments and why, and Ubisoft being fucking just out. Maybe they're not out of touch. Maybe they're doing the right thing for their business and making money, but just not what we want. Which is, again, fine. But we're just going to move on. That just is what it is. And anyone that wants to argue about the fact that the law's broken as if it isn't is, it is. There's no debate about it. You're allowed to still like it, but don't debate the facts of the matter that the law's broken, because they are.
It is. That's just
anyone with the brain will tell you it's not an opinion that the law is broken. It is broken. Are you allowed to like it still and have fun? Absolutely. Go nuts if you want to. But this is the reality, and we're going to say what we want to say. But I also don't want to spend the next 3 months before Odyssey comes out, and even afterwards, every podcast we talk about this and we just repeat ourselves and we bash it. We've talked about it
exhausting.
this podcast. Yeah, and we've only really done it twice. But we're already exhausted.
Yeah.
So I just want to say this now. If there are further community arguments, we've said our piece in terms of general, like what we think you guys should do. If you don't want to get in arguments, don't engage. You don't be part of it. Don't take it personally if people talk shit about this community. Don't take it personally if people talk shit about me or James or anyone in particular. Move on. Have fun. Be a part of this community if you want to. Don't if you don't want it. And that's just it. And if there's arguments further, really not our problem. We're going to defend you. If someone's like attacking someone really personal, it's obviously fucked up. Obviously going to have your back. We look after our own, but we don't want to spend every podcast talking about the same shit every time. And we're not going to bash Ubisoft every time. We've talked about it now. Let's move on. You know what we think about it. How's that, James?
Yep.
You agree?
I agree.
Cool. Let's talk about something fun, which is Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey.
Ooh.
Have you seen those screenshots that came out through the week?
I have. Yeah, I have.
Do you want to put them up? I'll send you the link.
I could
do,
yeah. If you have a link, I'll go ahead and throw those up.
I've done something different this time where I looked up a bunch of articles and things, and I've got a separate tab, window open with all the tabs for the podcast. It's
that's
like my podcast.
Some Joe Rogan shit.
Yeah, I know. It's like some H3
really
podcast shit.
Yeah, I'm liking this. Okay, let me get these fat screenshots up. Give me a sec.
I'll tell you what. I know this is a bit off topic, but while you're getting things up and everything, I discovered, because I listen to a lot of comedians' podcasts, and I'm a big fan of this podcast with Korean comedian Bobby Lee and his girlfriend Kalila, called Tiger Belly. Love it. It's my favorite podcast at the moment. I listen to it all the time. But they had Ethan and is it Hiller from H3?
Yeah.
I had never heard of H3.
Really?
Just hadn't heard of them.
Oh,
I feel like I'd seen clips of them before. Like I'm like, oh, I've heard this before. I feel like I know Ethan. I'd heard his voice, somewhere, but I just, I don't know who they are. Now I love H3 podcast. I've been listening to a shitload of H3 the last couple of weeks. They're really awesome.
Yeah. I really like the podcast. I like the YouTube channel as well because I've been watching them for a few years on the YouTube channel when they started the podcast. I give it a listen every so often, but then I don't listen to a lot of. I don't have a lot of time to listen to podcasts, but when I do, I do like a bit of H3 podcast.
I don't watch any of their YouTube channel. Like I don't watch H3 Productions or whatever it's called. Excuse me. I just listen to their podcast. Like they have comedians because they had Bobby Lee on as well. So I'm like, I'll go watch. Bobby Lee had them on his podcast. I'll go watch when he was on their podcast because I really liked them on his podcast. Thought they had really great chemistry. But then I'm like, they've had Tom Segura on. They've had all these other comedians on that I love. I'm like, oh shit, I'm going to listen to that again. And then they just had Chris D'Elia on last week or the other week and stuff. So I'm like, these guys are fucking sweet. Like, what a great podcast. So people haven't listened to that. But it seems like they do. They get shitloads of viewers. I'd love to see Rogan, not on them, but whether Ethan and Gila went on to Joe's podcast, that'd be fucking sweet or something.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Jordan Peterson's been on H3 podcast as well. I was trying to think of other people that have been on. And Post Malone, I listened to that because I really don't really know who Post Malone is. Or I just see his face everywhere and everyone talks about him and raves about him. Yeah. I'm like, I don't know who he is. He just tattoos his face like a fucking idiot. But he seems like a really nice person. Yeah, I agree. And seems like a really talented artist. But I just think anyone that touches their face is making terrible life decisions and clearly has a lot of past trauma and issues. But anyway, that's not the end of
That's true.
Have you got the fat screenshots?
I have got them. I can throw them up right now. I just did it. As I said the word now, I pressed it. Yeah, they're on the screen.
So what do we know? Why don't you explain to the people what Ancestor A Humankind Odyssey is? What do we know about it? Who's making it? All that sort of stuff.
Well, it's being developed by Panache Games, right? Who's the lead bloke is the one and only Patrice Désilets, who is the father of Assassin's Creed, and as well he also was the lead guy on Prince of Persia: Sands of Time as well at Ubisoft. And after he finished with Ubisoft, or was kicked off Ubisoft around Assassin's Creed Brotherhood time, he went and created his own studio, his own company with a bunch of people, and they've been working on for. It's been a while now. It's probably, I mean, they announced it, I think, probably about 3 or 4 years ago, but it's probably been longer than that now. This game called Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey. And we don't know a lot. Originally, it was meant to be episodic, where it would be like, now. It's not anymore. And he said there's volumes, like there's 3 volumes, and the first game is the first volume, but it's huge. And it's sort of like from however many million years ago to however many million years ago, but it spans like a millions of years is like the time frame that it spans, but it's still not like when you finish it won't be recent. It's not like he said to Luma, like you don't start off cavemen or monkeys or whatever and then end like in the middle of like Times Square. The first volume is in this prehistoric sort of period. You I guess you play as monkeys and you have a tribe or whatever, and we don't know a lot, but he said like survival sort of action adventure open world type thing, but we really don't know a lot. I think that's about all we know, unless I'm missing something.
And this is the first time I believe we've even seen screenshots or anything from the game.
Yeah, we saw a brief thing a few years ago. It was like a little teaser.
And it was just terrible quality, and it's God, I hope this. And obviously the screenshots, like the game looks fucking gorgeous.
It does.
Gorgeous.
It does.
And it's a console game, right? This isn't just like some PC indie developed.
It'll be
it's
all
a big
consoles,
Yeah. Do you reckon it's going to be this generation or next gen?
I'm
in terms of timeline
next
and when it
gen,
comes out.
Maybe. I don't know.
Just based on timing.
Yeah, I think so. I'm considering they've shown nothing, and Patrice is going around E3 showing people gameplay on his phone. I feel like there's no way it's coming out before the next generation of consoles. I can't see it happening. And I'd say the game will look drastically different when it releases to what we've seen, because it already looks drastically different to the first teaser we saw. So I don't think it's going to really look the same. But who knows? I mean, we still don't know anything really. But I'm really interested because Patrice is great, and he always has passion for what he makes. So I'm sure there's a lot of that going into this game. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of it.
Yeah, like you said, like we are paying attention to it probably because definitely because it's Patrice, the father of Assassin's Creed, the original creator, but it's also a game that I think is in its own way very interesting and unique, and I'm intrigued by the game as a concept now as well. Like obviously the first instinct of it was like, oh, Patrice is making a game called Ancestors. That's interesting, especially the creator of Assassin's Creed. It's all about ancestor reliving memories, and I was like, is he trying to do his own sort of Assassin's Creed without getting sued? It's like, oh no, this is his own unique concept. It sounds very interesting, and I trust that it's going to be cared for because it's Patrice, and he's a very, but he's a passionate game developer.
Yeah,
one of the good guys.
Yeah, he is for sure. So it'll be interesting to see more, to finally see some gameplay as well. I'd like to see that, just see what the game actually looks like in action, how it plays and stuff. And I'm sure it'll end up being a good time because I'm sure Patrice knows what he's doing.
I agree. And all we see is like monkeys, and there's like a baby monkey on the back in one of them.
Yeah.
This for the audio listeners, and
it's like a jungle.
One's at like a nighttime, and you just see some jungle. One's a bit more of an open sort of field with lots of rocks. And when I say rocks, I mean like big, massive, like not mountain sort of things, but just like what's it called? A Pride Rock in The Lion King. That size sort of thing. Yeah, I was trying to think of an analogy to use that someone might understand.
Yeah.
And then one's at night under the moon. You've got this like on its hind legs ape standing up, looking up at the trees. Looks gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really nice.
The thing that interested me the most when I heard Patrice and his interview with Luma was him talking about the fact he likes to play with no HUD. He feels like is the right way to play it. And I feel like that's interesting when anyone says like that's the way to play it. Like there's a way to play the game that's very like immersive, and it's really, the game really is an experience, and it really is about immersion, and that I like to hear that.
Yeah, that definitely sounds very interesting. I also liked when he was talking about sort of the way because he said he was playing it, like testing out the game and doing some stuff, and he ended up doing something. He was like, oh, that's really cool, like the way that it changed the world after he did certain stuff, and like the way the different people would I guess you call them people, would sort of interact, and like things they'd say or things they do based on what you sort of did. And I like that. I like how that sounds and sort of what they're doing with it. I just hope that it's not too open in terms of when you make something too open, you can have a No Man's Sky on your hands sort of thing, where like you don't want it procedurally generated. You don't want it to be just this open. You explore, but you don't really do anything. But I don't feel Patrice is going to do that. I assume there's going to be, there'll be a point to it, not just open, or you're a monkey, go and explore, and that's it.
Yeah. Because it's like, you don't want it to be, like, exploring can't just be an aesthetic thing in a video game, because that's what No Man's Sky is in a lot of ways. It's not really an interactive thing. So, well, you laser it and things, you get resources. That's not really what it doesn't really count, does it? That's lazy.
It's got to be a goal.
So you can't get away with, well, look at you're an ape and you go through a massive jungle. I'm like, yeah, but it's a video game, so it's not really a jungle, is it? So you can't just be like, walk through it and expect that to be interesting. But it's beautiful, right? I'm like, yeah, but there's lots of beautiful shit. Like, what's in it? What's the substance of the game that I'm playing? So, of course, like you said, there has to be some depth to that. But
yeah, you'd hope so. I think Patrice has got that.
I expect the game has that, and there's going to be some interesting things about the openness to the game and
how you
the fact
progress and stuff.
Yeah, and what you can do in the world. You know what I mean? Like, when you're exploring, and sure, it's just a forest, but what can you do in that forest? I expect there to be some really interesting things to do there. There has to be, and I expect that's what the game's going to have a lot of in it.
Yeah, you'd expect base level things like obviously climbing trees and stuff, and then like I guess hunting would be a thing, discovering different areas maybe, and as well I feel like a big part of this game is going to be building up sort of like your tribe. That's what I'm feeling. That's sort of like the vibe I'm getting. Is like surviving, building your tribe, and progressing and evolving. That's the vibe I'm getting. Because
it's the Humankind Odyssey. Like, it makes sense that it would be a lot about building the human race, and the first one would be community. And I feel like the next game, would be agriculture would probably be the next game, and then it would be civilization.
That'll make sense, yeah.
So I expect that's going to be the foundation of it, will be character interactivity, and the fact that but we're not just animals here, we're intelligent. So that what can we do with that intelligence? Well, we're going to build tribes, we're going to build community. So we're going to get like a prehistoric Planet of the Apes game, probably for this first installment, and then it'll grow to like agriculture, to farming, to like resources, and then eventually the third one probably to war, to conflict, then again there might even be some of that sort of conflict in a prehistoric tribal sense in this first game. So I'm very intrigued. I think it's a very interesting concept that's never been tackled before. It could miserably fail and be terrible.
Definitely
but
could, yeah.
The concept itself sounds interesting enough that I'm like, I want to see what happens.
Yeah,
do I think it's going to be great? I have no idea. I honestly have no idea, but I want to fucking see it either way.
Yeah. I like the concept, and I think Patrice being in charge of it gives me some hope that, this could be a really good project that could turn out quite well in the end.
Absolutely agreed. Cool.
Good.
Cool beans. That's Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey.
Cool.
There's another thing we haven't talked about. It's not old news, but we didn't talk about it on Clubhouse last week, which was the confirmation in terms of Showtime have purchased the creation of 10 episodes for a Halo TV show.
Oh yeah.
That we heard was like a couple of years ago at E3 that they were making it, and when they're making it, that really means they're developing a concept to it. But Showtime hadn't purchased any episodes. When a studio or a publisher or anything like that, when a show's being made, sure, it can be made and can be in development, but until a studio purchases episodes, buys episodes, gives a production company money, here's the money, we're ordering 10 episodes, so we want you to make 10 episodes for us. They're put in the order. It's now happening. Production starts early 2019, so that's a thing. Same way, what happened recently that was like the Game of Thrones spin-offs have been talked about for a couple of years now, but HBO just purchased 10 episodes of the first spin-off, so that's now actually being made in development, and that's the same here with Halo. So I've got an article here from who is it from? Hollywood Reporter. I'm sure not fake news and a reliable source. I just pulled one of the first articles off just to kind of get some information if you want to read along with me, James, or something like that. I don't know if you want to just see the info.
Yeah, go ahead. Link it to me.
Yeah, send the link, but it just says they're reporting that the Halo drama series has officially been given official order of 10 episodes and the production start date of early 2019. From exec producer, writer, and showrunner Kyle Killen and Rise of the Planet of the Apes director Rupert Wyatt. Great. Those Planet of the Apes movies are great, so pretty stoked about this. The new series is a major development for fans of Microsoft's best-selling video game franchise, which boasts more than $5 billion in sales since the first installment, Halo Combat Evolved, hit shelves back at Xbox in 2001. Okay. So they talk about here that one of the major challenges that comes with adapting the series is the main protagonist, Master Chief. Okay, so stop you there. Do we know what it's about? Is it about Master Chief? Is it Halo 1, the series?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this.
Yeah.
So they're adapting Master Chief.
I mean, it's better than, I think, in the long run, with the quality of TV shows these days on high budget. It's like back when they were talking about making a Halo movie, it's like, oh, Halo movie's going to be a thing, and Peter Jackson was at E3 in like 2005 talking about, I'm producer of the Halo movie, all this sort of shit. Then it never happened and fell through, and it's like, well, we're never going to get it. I was like, well, because the original script was pretty much just Halo Combat Evolved in a movie in like an hour and a half or 2 hours, whatever it was. It's like, I don't see how that can work. TV series makes more sense to me. You can tell the story of Halo 1 in a TV show in the first season and then keep going from there. And it's like, but you couldn't do that back then because TV wasn't like it is now, where you've got shows like Game of Thrones that are as good as any movie in terms of quality and cinematics and CGI and effects and things like that. So I think this is the right time and the right way to tell a Halo story. And they've done like those small mini-series like Forward Unto Dawn and things like that, which I thought was actually really good. I never watched that Lock one, thank God. But they've made some good shit with it, so I think they can make a quality Halo story. I just don't know if telling Halo 1 and all the Master Chief stories in a TV show is the right idea when they could just tell a completely different story. There's so much lore to Halo and time you could do, and do maybe what Halo Wars did. The first game anyway, where you're telling stories during the Covenant War in the early days. You got more to play with there. Still got a lot of conflict there. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait. I mean, video game movies and shit have always been really shit, so I can't say I've got a lot of hope, but I don't know. It could go either way.
Well, Showtime's a good company to be a part of, though, when it comes to producing shows like this. Showtime have a lot of good shows. One of my favorite shows is from Showtime, which was The Borgias. Did you ever watch The Borgias?
I didn't know.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch that. It's only 3 seasons. It's fucking tremendous, the show.
Alright.
Not Borgia. There's another show, Borgia. It fucking sucks. The Borgias with Jeremy Irons. Tremendous. Would recommend. One of my all-time top 5 favorite shows of all time.
Yeah, I'll have to throw that on the list.
Okay, so another report, I've gone to Digital Spy. I don't, again, just random websites when I'm Googling it. So they're saying it's too early to tell whether this means we'll see the characters from the game in the show or whether they'll choose to frame the conflict with a whole new group. Okay, so we don't really know anything about it, it sounds like. Yeah.
Alright, well, I mean, it has potential to be good. Like, I mean, everything does. I guess it's just a matter of will they do it right or not? Who knows? I hope so.
Yeah, supposedly the scripts for it, because the Showtime CEO David Nevins said, quote, "Halo is our most ambitious series ever, and we expect audiences who have been anticipating it for years to be thoroughly rewarded in the history of television. There simply has never been enough great science fiction." He also said, Kyle Killen's scripts are thrilling, expansive, and provocative. Rupert Wyatt is a wonderful world-building director, and their vision of Halo will enthrall fans of the game while also drawing the uninitiated into a world of complex characters that populate this unique universe.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds like, I think this is the right way to do Halo, is a TV show. And Showtime's a good company to be a part of and associated with. I'm excited for this show, to be honest. I don't like video game movies, but I think video game shows are a better way to do it. Long, expansive storytelling rather than 2-hour movies. I just think it's a smarter way to do it. I don't think it should be about the games, though.
Yeah.
What would you like to see from it?
I mean, ideally, I think the best way they could tackle it is to do their own story in the Halo universe. Fill a part of the Halo lore that we haven't seen yet. Maybe something we know about but haven't seen yet. Or they could just do something else entirely and just be like, tell their own story that just contributes to the Halo lore. And, that could be interesting. I do think that it's a bit... I think it'd be interesting to see them tackle Halo Combat Evolved in a different format like a TV show. But I don't think it's worth the risk necessarily, and I also don't think it's needed. We have that story. Yeah. Why retell it? I don't think we need to. So I think best way would be do your own story, but in the Halo universe, and you could probably pull off something well, especially because Halo Combat Evolved and the story of the games, they're written for video games. So when you try and adapt that to a movie or a TV show, it's always going to translate strange. So I think the best thing you can do is make a story that's made for your format, which is a TV show. So you write a TV show rather than adapting a game to a TV show. So hopefully it's like a unique new story. That'll probably be the best way to go.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. Cool. Cool beans. I was trying to think. I had something in my head that I was going to say. Oh yeah. Speaking of, I guess, TV shows and movies and things like that. Because we've done spoiler casts in the past. Have you put in? We talked about. Oh, I guess it was on Clubhouse, or maybe it was even not in Clubhouse. Maybe it was after. But have you thought about what we talked about with spoiler cast series?
Oh yeah, this was after. Yeah, this was after Clubhouse.
Should we talk about this here or not?
We can do. I don't see why not.
Yeah, cool. Do you want to do something like this?
Yeah, I think so.
I think people would like this.
I think so too.
Okay. Well, what we're talking about is doing a spoiler cast series which means like individual spoiler casts for specific things individually for the whole MCU. So that means like James and I will go back and watch every MCU movie and do a spoiler cast for it, starting with Iron Man 1 and ending with, well, we've already done Infinity War. We've already done Spider-Man. Have we done any others?
Don't think so. We didn't do Thor Ragnarok. Or Black Panther.
Yeah, so we'd be ending with Ant-Man and the Wasp probably, because by the time we finish it, that's come out. I mean, I hope it go. It'll probably be Captain Marvel will probably be out by the time we finish. It's not going to be like once a week. Like it'll be something we can like draw out over a long period of time. There's 20 movies that are out now if you include Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's 20 MCU movies.
Yeah.
Or is there? Yeah, there's 20. I was like
I'm
not sure if I even include the Incredible Hulk in there ever, to be honest.
You have to.
And then we do like, and they won't be long. Like they could be like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. But if we're like for the first Avengers movie, or Age of Ultron, might be like 40 minutes or something like that, depending on the movie. But I don't think we're going to want to talk for more than 20 minutes about Thor: The Dark World.
I don't know about you, but we could do a full 3 on Thor: The Dark World. That'd be great.
Yes, let's do 3 hours of podcasting on Thor: The Dark World. I think, you know what? I think you're onto something, my friend.
And then we can do Inhumans as well. We can watch the whole season of Inhumans and do a spoiler cast on that.
I'll tell you what I'd love. I was going to say I'd love to do a spoiler cast on like Lord of the Rings trilogy. You know what I mean? Like we could do this in general. It could be a series where we start with the MCU and then maybe we do something else, like another series. We could do we could do other shit. But I think it'd have to be interesting. Like I don't know if I'd want to talk about. Like I was trying to think, we could do Star Wars. We could do all the Star Wars movies, like Phantom Menace. But I feel like we've talked about those to death already on podcasts.
Yeah, because I was thinking, we could do like Assassin's Creed, but we've done that. Like we don't need to do a spoiler cast.
We don't need to do a spoiler cast. We don't need to review Assassin's Creed 2 on the podcast. We've talked about that a million times.
Let's review Assassin's Creed Unity on the podcast.
Yeah, and obviously we're not going to redo like Avengers Infinity War spoiler cast. We're not going to do Spider-Man Homecoming again. We've done that.
Yeah.
So we just do the ones we haven't done. The other 18, and probably by the time we're done, Captain Marvel, and we probably even do Captain Marvel before we're even done. And hopefully, maybe we could time it with the last one comes out like a couple weeks before Avengers 4 comes out or something like that.
Yeah. That'd be a good
idea.
I
think it would be a cool series to do.
I reckon
people would. So if you want to see that, message us, let us know. I told Billy about the idea yesterday after he saw Ant-Man. He's like, dude, that'd be fucking cool. I'm like, yeah, okay. Maybe it is a good idea. Maybe it is something special.
Yeah, I reckon it is.
Something fun. And I love doing spoiler casts because it's just the shorter versions where we can just talk specifics about something cool.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to think. What other than MCU could we do? Lord of the Rings would be a cool one. We haven't really talked about Lord of the Rings before.
That could be fun.
It's like a movie club sort of thing where it's like, okay, guys, if you haven't seen it, go watch this, and then we can talk about it, and we'll do a spoiler cast.
Yeah, we could do that. So we could be like, okay, we'll announce at some point this is the one we're doing, and then we could say to everyone, right, make sure by this date you've watched this movie, and then we come together and we talk about it. Meaning me and you, and then everyone can listen to it. So it's sort of like everyone can join in sort of thing.
Yeah,
they watch the movie as well.
A movie club. Oh, Kill Connor Movie Club.
Our titles for shit always sound so aggressive. Kill Connor Movie Club. Kill Connor Movie Club. That'd be alright. Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. That's pretty good.
The Kill Connor Club movie club. I want to see inside the clubhouse of Kill Connor Club. We've got the clubhouse, so we're like Kill Connor Club, where it's a club people are part of, but then there's a clubhouse, a secret clubhouse, and then there's like a small room in the clubhouse that's the movie club.
The Kill Connor Club Clubhouse Movie Club.
Yeah. Oh my god. The Kill Connor Club Clubhouse Movie Club.
That's great.
Let's call the podcast that, the Kill Connor Club Clubhouse Movie Club. That's
such a great title. That's really good. Oh god.
It's done. That's the
it.
fucking name.
It's set in stone.
Oh my god. I love the way Double A is moving forward. Oh, as always. I was like, what's Double A?
Double
Oh
A.
yeah, my company.
I love Double A. AA, the breakdown service thing. Car thing.
Alcoholics Anonymous. Yeah. That'd be cool. We can do it like, but that's something, if we do, because the movie club stuff, we can do real early access for Patreon, like a week. You know what I mean? Because we're not going to watch brand new movies. Like if it was like, let's say Captain Marvel or Avengers, we're going to put it out within 24 hours of like, Patreon will get it, then 24 hours later, probably gets it. But if it's like Iron Man 1, put it out to Patreon, the next week, 7 days later, it'll go to YouTube for free. So if you want, like, it can be, you know, one of those smaller series, and it's not going to take up a lot of our time, because I you know, we're not doing 3-hour Kill Connor clubs unless we have that much to talk about. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need to do 3 hours anymore. I don't think that's necessary.
I agree.
But then again, if we go longer than 3 hours, that's cool if we have that much to talk about. But if we don't, like the list, we've gone through the list. The list is done. We've talked about everything I had.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. But then again, I thought to be honest, when I wrote this list, I was like, we're not going to even make 2 hours. But we've made 2 hours, so that's, you know.
That's all right.
Yeah,
I think we got a bit into this, I don't know, mindset of like Kill Connor Club has to be 3 hours every time we do it. Felt like that sort of burned it out a little bit.
It worked when we didn't do Clubhouse, but when we're doing podcasts every week, there's just not enough that happens every week to talk about for 3 hours.
That's true.
Because the way the podcast works, we're talking about current events, we talk about news, we talk about what's going on. So if there's nothing that life going on, what are you supposed to talk about for 3 hours? So it's just one of those things, especially when we've done this for this long week. It's not like we have, we're not that interesting people that we're like, well, you know, this week I jumped out of a plane and did skydiving, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't have fucking stories for days. I only have so much I can do, and I've told so much of my personal life in this podcast, and sometimes I just got to keep things to myself. Yeah.
Well, that's great.
But yeah, I think that'd be a cool series.
Yes, I
Kill
agree.
Connor Club, Clubhouse Movie Club.
Brilliant. The best club.
The best club.
Presented by As Always.
But we're not doing new artwork or anything. It's just gonna be the name of it. We'll just keep it the spoiler cast thumbnails that you do. They're cool.
Yeah.
Kill Connor Club,
Or I could try and make something else, but
so funny. I love saying the name.
Yeah. Kill Connor Club, Clubhouse Movie Club, the greatest club on the planet. It's where everyone wants to be.
I'm gonna hashtag it right now on Twitter. Kill Connor.
All right.
Clubhouse Movie Club.
I'll give it a retweet when it pops up.
The longest fucking hashtag in the world.
Oh, that looks so weird. Kill Connor Club, Clubhouse Movie Club.
That's so funny.
Fantastic.
That's so dumb. Did you hear about, and this, because I watch H3's podcast at the moment, I actually hear YouTube drama now. I'm like up with the kids, I feel like. What was up with this random YouTube bitch that didn't get invited to VidCon, so she did her own con?
Oh my god. Yeah.
What is that? Can you explain that to me?
Oh my god. Yeah, I
feel
can
like
try.
I kind of got a little bit of info from like one of the highlights of H3 today, but I'm like, I don't understand what happened.
There's a lot of shit going on. I mean, YouTuber called Shane Dawson did a series where it was almost sort of like a documentary thing, and I haven't watched a lot of Shane Dawson. Previously, I wasn't very interested, but I watched his series that he did on that, and it's really good shit. He really sort of talks to all of the people involved and tries to figure out exactly what happened. But basically, what happened was this YouTuber decided, I don't know, she had some problems with VidCon or whatever, which is the big convention, for anyone who doesn't know, for like YouTubers it's been around for fucking years. And she decided she didn't want anything to do with that and wanted to start her own convention to sort of get back at them, I guess, to be like, nah, fuck you, I'm gonna do my own thing. And so she created this thing called Tanacon, which ended up, long story short, went horribly fucking wrong in every single way. With, the venue it wasn't big enough to hold all the people. People were getting injured. There wasn't like food or drink or anything like that, and the stuff they planned just all went to absolute shit. And so there was all this drama about it, everyone getting pissed off, like YouTubers that had their name or like their face on the brand of this convention were pissed off because obviously they got fucked over. It's ruining, the way they look. All of these fans were standing outside that paid like $60 for a ticket, never got to meet anyone, never even got to get inside the venue.
I thought it was a free event.
Well, that's the thing, right? So it was meant to be, but there were also these VIP tickets that cost like $60, and there was only meant to, because they were planning on like having 5,000 people attend, right?
And she's doing this because VidCon didn't invite her.
Yeah.
Or didn't give her like
so.
Some special pass or something. I don't
know,
that.
something dumb. But there was meant to be 5,000 people attending her thing, and there was meant to be like 4,000 free tickets. There was meant to be like 1,000 were just like these special VIP passes. But it ended up being that they only sold. There was only like about 200 people with the free ones. Then they, for some reason, sold like 5,000 VIP passes. And the majority of people never got inside, and there was just all this drama fucking going on about it. And like I said, if anyone's interested, I would recommend, even if you're not interested in Shane Dawson, to watch his videos on it, because he did a really good job covering everything, being very unbiased as well. It was a great 3 sort of part series that he did on it. Really
so
sort of
how does it kind of end with it?
Well, sort of, I don't really know exactly what they're doing, but there's a lot of ins and outs to it to really fully explain, and it's a bit of a complicated thing. So I would recommend anyone watching the videos on it, because there's just too much to explain. I couldn't possibly do it. I explained the basis of it, but like explaining the ins and outs of like what actually ended up happening it's too difficult, because there's too many things to mention for it to make sense. Otherwise it'd be like, well, I don't really know what you're talking about. So I can't really explain, but that's basically what happened, and everything went to shit. And so
what did she say about it after it all ended and got cancelled or whatever?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think she sort of was laying low, because she did it through like this third-party company that isn't really a company. It's like just some guy. And she like went to some party after everything went to shit. And she didn't really know what was going on. And she was trying to get it figured out with this company, but it's not really a company, it's just this guy, and like the guy like abandoned her and like flew away to another country, like panicking because everything went to shit. And there's just a lot of like moving parts. There's a lot to it. That's all went shit. It's really interesting, to be honest. Sort of learn about exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. I might have to go watch this. That sounds fucking like
I would recommend
interesting,
it, because I was like, oh, this is gonna be dumb, like dumb shit. But it's actually really good quality, like stuff that Shane Dawson did. It's actually really good, really interesting.
Yeah. Someone said 15,000 people just showed up.
No, that's not true. Everyone was saying right at the beginning, 15,000 people showed up. To the thing when they weren't expecting it, but it wasn't. It was how many people they expected to show up were there. It's just the venue couldn't hold it, and everyone's panicking and didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. It was just an absolute fucking mess. Like, people were getting hurt, and
bizarre.
Yeah, it was.
What a bizarre thing to happen.
Some mad shit, but it's really interesting because of like all the different reasons behind what happened, like with the company and with this guy and with like exactly what everyone's sort of agenda was. It's interesting to learn about all that, what happened behind the scenes. So yeah, it was very strange, but I can't see anyone else trying that anytime soon.
Imagine
go down
that.
well.
Oh my god. Funny YouTube drama.
YouTube
Up to date with the kids, with the understanding. You know, she should have a boxing match with the event organizer.
Oh god. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, that's the cool thing to do, right?
Yeah, that'll be the next thing after Logan Paul, KSI, and Deji and Jake Paul. You can have Tano,
yeah,
the guy that organised the event.
And you retweeted Jake Paul, you sick son of a
I'm
bitch.
sorry, man. I'm sorry.
You make me sick. Doesn't matter how dumb his tweet is. He's also referencing. He's like, look how many more views we got than Mayweather McGregor. I'm like, you do know they uploaded that press conference in 5 different channels, and that was the least viewed channel he picked. So like, we've got so many more views. I'm like, go to UFC's channel, has double the views of Showtime's, plus it's on 2 other channels, and if you add them all together, it's double your fucking press conference, you stupid fucking cunt. Anyway, I'm not talking about Jake Paul on this podcast. He's not making it in to the Kill Connor Club Clubhouse movie club. It's not going to happen.
Oh, Jesus.
We should have a Kill Connor Club Clubhouse Hall of Fame for, like, guests.
Oh, yeah.
We should have segments. We should someone needs to draw the clubhouse and what it looks like, a floor plan of it, and like there's a theater room and that's the movie club room, and there's a Hall of Fame room where there's like pictures of people on the wall and stuff.
There's a room where we have like pictures of people that aren't allowed, just to make sure everyone knows, the staff knows not to let these people into the clubhouse.
Yeah, well, who's on the wall?
What, for that? For not coming in?
Yeah, who's not allowed to come into the clubhouse?
Oh God, I don't know. I guess Jake Paul will be there, like you've said.
Yeah, Jake Paul.
He's
Jake
not
Paul
coming
will be
in.
Udi?
Udi's not coming in.
Yeah. Oh, that's a throwback. No one even knows who that is.
I don't think that merits a response.
Yeah, I don't think that merits a response. You're right, sorry. Who else would not be allowed in? Logan Paul, obviously. The Paul brothers won't be allowed.
Of course. Agent Locke.
Yeah, I was just saying, Agent Locke. I'm like, what's his name? Whoever that guy is that plays Luke
Not
Cage.
allowed.
He's not allowed in. He's not absolutely not allowed in.
Not allowed in the clubhouse.
Yeah, neither is. Yeah, sure. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. I mean, I don't really care about Amar, but yeah.
Well, I don't really want him. I don't imagine if we're all in the clubhouse having a good time and Amar comes in.
Oh, that would suck. It'd ruin it.
Exactly. He's not coming in our fucking clubhouse treehouse.
Oh, damn it. What are we doing in the time though? Like, it depends. Like, if we're in like the mood for like
we're having a hater orgy.
We're having a hater orgy. It would mess up the hater orgy. It would mess up the hater. He's like, oh no, we have to say it to his face and not behind our keyboards. Damn it! Because that's the only way we can do it, James. We don't We could if we ever saw these people in person, we would be so scared and terrified.
Yeah, no. What if they disagreed with me or told me not to be a hater? I couldn't handle that. I don't think.
I'd just cry and I'd be like, you're wrong. I'm so sorry and insecure. That would be us.
We're just haters. We're just jealous. We're just jealous haters.
Yeah, that's true. I am a jealous hater. That is true. I wish. Yeah, no, like, yeah, you're right. I guess that's true. Amar has to be on the not allowed list. Like, just in the sense of, like, what if we were, like, making sandwiches at the kitchen of the clubhouse, and then Amar shows up? I'm like, I was about to have this beautiful ham and cheese sandwich, and I gotta fucking talk to Amar. Fuck.
Oh, what a fucking downer.
What a downer. And yeah, and I'm like, it's like you and me making sandwiches, and there's like, you know, people there. Ben's there. He's there. So he was hanging out. He was just there that day at the clubhouse, and so was who's another sweet vintage lad.
He lives there.
Yeah, Brett's there. Brett hangs out there too, and there was Ballsack 47's there as well. Like, there's a lot of people there. Brendan's there, yeah, and we're making sandwiches, having a great fucking time. And yeah, you're right. Yeah, he has to be on the lad.
Yeah, he can't be in.
Who's security of all the sweet vintage lads? Who's the security at the door for the club?
I don't know.
I know, slightly sexual.
Okay, yeah.
has to be security.
He has to check people's
Has to be
ID, make sure they're pledging to as always.
Yeah, that's true. He'd be all about it. And there's like a rap password to get in that he'd make them do.
A special rap password.
Yeah. Oh, I'll tell you who else is not allowed in. The lady that touched my leg on the plane.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, we can't have her.
Yeah, no, I can't have her.
We gotta have a special kiosk for that woman that gives out free lollies as well.
Yeah,
As on your way out, you can grab one.
I feel, but wouldn't it be on the Wall of Fame? Is one of the bird calendars?
Yeah, true.
Because because there's a Hall of Fame of guests, right? Like
yeah,
the Hall of Fame. There's maybe the Hall of Fame can be also mementos.
Like the bird calendar.
Like the bird calendar would be on there, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
you'd
I
have
think
to
so.
think on the walls as a bird calendar, a 2015 bird calendar, Australian bird calendar.
And the Play-Doh lollies.
Yeah, the Play-Doh lollies, same lady. Yeah, the Play-Doh lollies.
Yeah.
Are there? What else? What else would be on the Hall of Fame wall?
God, I'm just trying to think of. I don't know. What other things have we had?
Because the club is obviously the movie club room. It's a little cinema.
Yeah.
With like beanbags and shit, and like a projector to watch movies on. We've got a kitchen, obviously, to make food. A place to like an area we eat in.
Yeah.
Then there's like a room with like, I guess like, but what do you say, beds in it? Like, places to sleep.
Maybe would everyone have like their own like on-site living area?
No, I feel like it would be like, because not everyone's always there, people have their own houses and lives. Like, this is like when we need to hang out or something, but some people might need to crash. Have had too many drinks, can't make it home. There's a few beds there. There might be like a few bunk beds, just small beds. Yeah. Floor mattresses and shit like that. And then there's the Hall of Fame room. I'll have pictures of like, obviously the four pillars. Brett's on there and Super Rebel, people like that have like been the all-time great guests, Aftermath and shit.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the mementos, you'd have the bird calendar. I'm trying to think of what other mementos in all the years. A picture of me doing karaoke.
Yeah,
from that video.
Bieber, of course.
Yeah, that'd have to be there. That'd have to be there. Yeah, someone's done a drawing of Bruno Mars, but he looks homeless.
Yeah, homeless Bruno Mars. Yeah, that's a good one.
Could just be a picture of Bruno Mars is up there, just in reference of
just
it.
Bruno Mars. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you're like, why does Bruno Mars? Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
But like along the wall, right near the doorway, is the like not allowed in. Is the do not let in, and that's like the guy that plays Agent Locke, the Paul brothers. Udi, people like that, they can't come in.
Yeah, people like that. Those specific people like that.
Yeah, people like that.
Yeah.
People.
One day we'll make an actual clubhouse, and it'll be the best thing ever. We'll pour our millions that we've made into making a clubhouse.
If somehow we blew up to the point where we're making millions, we'd actually make a studio. We'd just call it the Clubhouse, and we'd have to make this shit. We'd have to actually have this shit in there, like the Hall of Fame room, and the Do Not Let In room.
That'd be amazing. That'd be the best. That's the dream.
Noah Watts is obviously on the Do Not Enter list.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you can't have him. No.
Yeah, 100% can't have him. There's got to be an Epic Gamer room, the Epic Game Lounge.
Is that where you have games?
Yeah, you'd have a bunch of TVs and consoles in each one set up, and like nice gaming chair, Epic gaming chairs.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like, and then have to be a wardrobe with like all our merch in it for people that like need to wear the merch inside the clubhouse at all times.
Yeah, it's like the uniform.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Like you need to have like a Horsey and Fox Epic Gaming shirt, or you have to have a Kill Connor Club shirt on, or something like that. Like you have to have something on.
Yeah.
Uniform.
Definitely do.
And yeah, that's a good start. That's a good start to the clubhouse. This is a weird conversation, but I'm glad we had this conversation. I'm very glad we had this conversation.
And now we know for the future. We've got the plans.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Start
true.
laying out the blueprints.
Yeah, well, maybe this is for the Sweet Vintage lads listening for next week on Clubhouse. Give us some suggestions of how we build the clubhouse.
Yeah, what do we need in the clubhouse? Yeah.
What do we need in the clubhouse? So if you want to hear more about this bullshit story we're coming up with, playing the clubhouse, For just $1, you can become a Sweet Vintage Lad. And as always, remember, patreon.com/asalways, so do it for next week.
You can do that.
On Clubhouse, episode 41, where we're going to have one of the Sweet Vintage Lads on, hopefully, again. It's been a little while. Anyway, let's wrap this shit up.
All right.
On this note, let's wrap this shit up.
Good.
We're done.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone very much for joining us. Like Tyler said, obviously, go head over to patreon.com/asalways if you want to become a Sweet Vintage Lad and you want extra podcasts, because I know you do. Everyone does. You won't regret it. We can talk about the Clubhouse over there. That'd be great. Some of you Sweet Vintage Lads we have supporting us over at patreon.com/asalways are King Richard III, Ballsack47, Tman or Travis, Billy the Team Tynamite Captain Robertson, Josh Devillier, Damian, Get You to Chopra, Mario5380, Lumistrad, Josh Jordan, Ben Modorox, TheHumbleWorm, Elstico91, Emil Katborg, Austin, SaggyTits, GdayItslaZer, Prudhvi Muvva, Shaded Rav, Julli, Adam Sundling, HBars12, SaggyTits, Jayce the Last Medici, TheACMJS, James and Lad, Yazen, Joe the Sexy Boi Smith, Brian Ford, Connor Durose, GingerNutJared, Georgia Longed Fox, Joshua Mora, Gene, Marcus Blackburn, Seth, Oscar, Ravjai, Son of a Bitch, OG Doggo, Brendan or BQ Overlord, and Pink Flame 313. Thank you all so much for your continued support, and that's you can join them as well over at patreon.com/asalways. Okay, cool. And that's that. That's everything. Anything else?
No, that's about it. That's about it. I was just thinking about the Clubhouse and what we could have. We have to have a podcast room, obviously.
Oh yeah, you think
like
so?
a nice little podcast studio. Yeah, that's in there. So. Yeah, it's not totally off topic about what you're talking about. I was just sitting there thinking while you're reading the names of things. I'm excited to talk about this again, actually. I like this idea a lot.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, everyone can tell us, when we put up the post for Clubhouse, make sure you remind everyone.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, well, cool beans. All right, lads, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to everyone in the chat. And if you haven't right now, just like the stream as we wrap up, like us and follow us on SoundCloud and subscribe to us on iTunes. Give us a 5-star review, or you can go fuck yourself. And thanks for watching and listening.
Thanks
we
very
love
much.
you all.
We do. That's good. Okay, see you next time, kids. Goodbye.
Bye.